freshman. Crossover in the lane.
One of the most famous crossovers of all time.
Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover.
Double crossover.
The crossover continues to evolve.
All right, time for the crossover. 3 against 1 on the uniforms being worn last night.
Who's the one? Ravi.
You guys were anti the uniforms?
Ravi.
I liked them.
Now let's get something straight.
Yeah.
Not anti the uniform existing. I'm not anti the uniform existing.
It's a good looking kit.
I am very anti them being worn during the actual All-Star game.
Yeah, I don't care about that at all.
The All-Star game is great because of the colors, and that one time before the game where everybody's lined up and you get to go through and look at everybody's that's just part of it for me. And Joe Buck, I realized last night.
Yeah,
we missed Joe Buck.
Robbie and I were talking. Joe Davis is really good, but in terms of the interaction with players, can you imagine Buck talking like Alex Manoah?
Yeah.
Or facilitating the Max Fried, Garrett Cole conversation?
Yeah.
Which I think Aaron Judge was supposed to be involved in.
Well, Judge was supposed to be on the one with Giancarlo Stanton, and his mic went out.
Well,
his mic went out? I just thought he was disinterested.
Just looking at the reaction after Judge struck out, I think he was getting sound between Cole and Fried.
Yeah, he was. No, because they were talking to him a little bit, but he wasn't responding. I don't know if he wanted to talk during his
Aaron, are you there?
But Buck would have been better in those situations to get that kind of stuff going.
I actually thought Smoltz was pretty good in that spot. I thought he did a better job than Joe Davis did.
Well, he called Manoah's pitches a couple.
That was the best part.
That's fantastic.
That was the best part of the entire game for me.
2 strikes. How do you want it?
He's like, ooh, I like what you're.
Oh yeah, punchy.
Oh, that was right down the middle. You missed it.
And he's already a big personality. I mean, a guy from New York who is pitching in Toronto and his size.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be people that'll go, man, I got to watch this guy when he pitches again for Toronto.
Did you see what he was wearing to the red carpet show? He looked like Dr. Evil.
No, I didn't see him.
It was like a robe, but it was gray. It's really, really weird.
See, the next step in access, like you can't do that stuff in the regular season because you're not going to agree to it. And they're trying to get more and more access, like with baseball. I still contend that in college football or the NFL, and you can't have this live, I want to hear the discussion on like the play being called. Like, we get that like in the USFL, but in college football, I think one of the best things Nebraska ever did, remember when they used to release end of the year VHS tapes on the season?
Yeah.
They released one specifically on Osborne's last game, and they had the communication between Solich and Osborne calling plays.
That's awesome.
And I thought it was one of the best pieces of Husker vision that they've ever done because you got to hear their discussion, and you also got to hear the insight on how T.O. was like 2 plays ahead, thinking, okay, on first down, I'm calling this, and I know it's going to get 6 yards, so that's going to set up 2nd and 4 before first down had ever been run.
Well, one of the best things that happens every year after the Super Bowl is they release that long cut.
Oh, and we love it.
Yeah, it was fantastic with all the mic'd up players, and they like the one with Mahomes where they called the play the Wasp play or whatever, and they discussing going into that. That was awesome.
Well, like why couldn't they do that on the Big Ten Network and SEC Network? I mean, that would be some of their best content they would have all year instead of just showing that same game over and over again.
That would require the Big Ten to do something,
to do anything at all. So maybe SEC Network is a more viable option here because ESPN, produces things. But if you could just give a cut of, and you could, you could edit a little bit if you wanted to, if you didn't want to give too much away and things like that, or you could even wait until after the season so that
after the season, so you can't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, so you weren't giving away play calls or whatever that college football coaches are always paranoid about.
Nebraska did some things. They've been doing some things over the last, I think it was maybe just last year, the last 2 years, where they'll put a cutout after the game of like an extended basically highlight, but then there's some behind the scenes stuff in there too. That's where we got the Adrian pregame speech, after he was benched, that whole thing. That was pretty good. So they've done a little bit of that. I mean, you guys were talking about college football and their secrets earlier, like, that's not going to go over well.
No, you're right. That's why you'd have to wait at least till after the season, or at least until everyone involved was dead. But
what's this in 60 years? We got this really cool hype tape.
It's gonna be It's gonna be incredible. Once you're down in your nuclear bunker 60 years from now, you'll have great content to consume. It'll be incredible. No, I would like to see. I mean, some of the locker room stuff or whatever, and the speeches are fine. But I want to see like the strategic,
For
like
sure.
you're talking about
Yeah.
with the Osborne and Solich of, okay, we got this here. What are we looking at on the next down, and having that back and forth? That's what I loved about the All-Star game last night.
There's so few opportunities like that for football though, because everything means something. Like there's no exhibition football game. I mean, you do the preseason, and but guys are fighting for their jobs at that point too. Like,
Yeah, but you could mic up the coaches.
you can find a low leverage situation in football. It's just hard.
No, you're right. But I mean, honestly, the parts that I enjoyed the most yesterday were where he's talking about, okay, he's seen 2 sinkers already this at bat. When he's pitching to Acuna. So he's seen 2 sinkers already this at bat. I'm going to throw him something that stays true. So he's off on it a little bit. And it was just the thought process of it.
Setting up the next pitch.
Yeah. And on some level, that, but to hear him actually talk through it, through an at bat, I thought was just fascinating. I'd watch that all the time.
Here's the other thing that maybe you could do this in a regular season game, edit it, wait to release it, is how many people go to a pitching coach, hey, what do you say out there when you go out for a mound visit? Wouldn't you love to hear the pitching coach mic'd when he goes out to talk to his pitcher and you've got the entire infield in there and you're all talking, and it ends with the umpire coming up going, all right, here we go.
Yep.
I mean, I'd love
sometimes
to, it's not all Bull Durham conversation out on the mound.
Sometimes those don't go really well either.
No, but that might be really good. Or the one that is just, hey, I'm just coming out here. How you doing? We got a guy warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah.
What's
You're just
going
like,
on
hey,
here?
I
I'm
gotta
just killing time.
I gotta waste some time here. I'm gonna make the ump break this up.
Every person, and that's baseball, and that's managing. Like, you have to know how your guys are going to respond to things. So sometimes coaches go out there and they just like tell a joke or something.
Hey, John,
like, hey,
Candy's up there.
Yeah, I just wanted to loosen you up. Hey, just your sister's pretty hot, or something like that. Whatever it is.
Well, and the other thing, and this is, back in the day, remember when they used to have, I don't know if it was technically mic'd up, because I'm thinking of the Earl Weaver, some of the legendary ejections of Earl Weaver, where you get to hear the conversation.
Can hear it. Yeah.
So do they have? I mean, I don't think they had the technology back then where the umpire would be mic'd up.
Yeah, is that
but
like,
you hear
that fake news?
You hear the interaction between the umpire that's throwing out Earl Weaver, and he comes out to argue with him. I mean, having officials mic'd up.
Well, think about we had Aaron Boone. Our guys are savages in the box. That was fantastic. Now,
wasn't that picked up by a crowd mic?
It was picked up by the dugout. And then it was the same thing with who was the Mets manager a couple years ago when he was in that.
Was it Terry Collins?
Terry Collins, yeah. And
Bobby Valentine.
Your ass is in the jackpot or whatever that was. That was fantastic. Like, we got the whole argument. And they had to like tell him to go away. And he was like, you know what? No, I'm coming back out there. And you got his whole thought process. We've had a couple famous ones of those. More of that.
I would consume all of that. Everything you could give me, I would take all of it. If I could have every at bat narrated by the pitcher, just going through his thought process. And I would love that. That'd be incredible.
See, that's why Robbie and I were talking off air, actually, Connor. The Big East does one game a year where everybody's mic'd up.
Yeah.
And so I can remember one of the Creighton games where it was great to get inside in Mac talking to his team, but then his interaction with the officials.
Yep.
What they were talking
working
about. But then there was the downside of that where some coaches get exposed because they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like John Thompson III got exposed of like, oh my God, what are you?
Yeah.
What game are you watching?
Well, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Creighton in Georgetown. They did a Creighton Georgetown game maybe it was last year or 2 years ago, and it was Patrick Ewing, and the difference of him in the huddle compared to Mac in the huddle.
Yeah.
Mac knew like exactly which buttons to push and exactly what play, and he was very like
He had a
straightforward.
very good feel on the situation.
He was a good communicator, and Patrick Ewing was like, all right, guys, come on. We got this.
Play better, guys. We got to do good. This isn't going our way. Please.
You got to have the right answers at all times. So yeah, you could get exposed in that situation.
Last time you bought a pack of gum?
Every once in a while.
Specifically went to a place to buy gum.
I buy gum about as often as I say yes when they ask me if I want a receipt.
I bought a pack.
The same amount of times, and it's random. I don't know when. Like, I go to the grocery store, I'm going through the checkout aisle. I was like, gum sounds good.
I bought a pack of gum Monday.
Like specifically?
Well,
or were you at the checkout?
I was at the
and
checkout.
it was right there in front of you.
Oh, that's
so you
only
grabbed.
the times I buy gum.
I
don't
thought,
specifically buy gum.
I had thought about maybe I want gum, and then I saw it, and I was like, okay, I'll buy this. But I don't know that I've ever specifically gone somewhere to buy gum.
Is the gum industry like?
Don't.
Is it dying? Is it dead?
Are you trying to kill gum?
No, I just don't see as many people chewing gum. And we were talking off air. Does Big Red gum still exist?
Yeah, well, I'm curious.
Gum is mainly the domain of high school students, right?
I think it's younger.
It's a form of currency in high school, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
I think it's younger.
Like, there's a difference between like the juicy fruit. Like somebody my age you guys wouldn't get on me for chewing juicy fruit. But if I'm chewing like Hubba Bubba, you're like, hey,
Yeah. I would say probably once every 2 years I grab a packet of Big League Chew.
I was gonna say, I don't know. You come in here with Big League Chew, and we're all asking for a dip. That's all I know.
And it goes
Because that stuff is elite.
What if I came in with
purple
the gum that it was in a roll, or they still sell it in the roll?
The
tape,
bubble tape.
yeah, bubble tape.
Bubble tape not as good as Big League Chew.
Bubble tape went away so fast.
Now, Big League Chew made a comeback almost right before COVID. You started to see more Big League Chew getting the prime spot in the checkout lane.
Wow.
Yeah, I love me some Big League
COVID
Chew.
killed Big League Chew?
Well,
Is that what you're saying?
R.I.P.
I think it was coming back before COVID.
I still see it around.
Just like N1.
So now that we're putting limits on like ages of like gum,
I'm not putting a limit. I just think it
What
skews
was
younger.
the third?
like what if you saw me blowing bubbles?
Bubblicious.
The third sports drink that we used to have?
All sport.
All Sport.
Oh.
Yes.
Good recall.
What happened to All Sport? I loved All Sport. I thought All Sport was better than all of them.
There was a supermarket opening with a former Husker, I cannot remember who, and it was all sponsored by All Sport. It might have been Grant Wistrom
Yeah.
or one of the Peters. I'm not sure which.
Did Kobe Bryant and Body Armor kill All Sport?
Maybe.
Yeah.
If I see an All Sport, anytime in the future, I'm gonna grab some.
Does it exist?
I don't know. I hope it does.
So the other
grab an
one
All-Sport.
quick thing here, because some of you in this room are in charge of kids. Do kids still go to bed like Gary Sharp did when he was young, with gum in your mouth? And as the night unfolds, it falls out of your mouth and you roll around on your pillow. And the next thing you wake up in the morning, you got gum in your hair.
No, you got to watch your kid better.
All right, Barb and Walt. Josh, not a big fan of your parenting skills.
Josh's kid is 3. You think he's walking around chewing gum?
Yeah, my child has not had gum yet.
Really?
Wait, when do you
Like,
think you have gum
When
for the first
will
time?
you allow them to have gum?
When is it gum
Or
time?
teach them how to blow bubbles?
Feels like 6. Feels like a 6-year-old thing.
You're gonna have the gum talk.
I'd be afraid of.
This is how you blow the bubble.
Don't put this anywhere except the garbage. If I find this,
And if
anywhere-
And don't swallow
If
it.
you swallow it, it stays there for 7 years.
7 years.
I once tracked a piece of gum that I swallowed.
what did
But-
you like?
No, like
absorb-
tracked it.
It's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
you
I
like-
had like a 7-year countdown.
Did you? I was like, did you like
I
search
swear
through
to
your
God.
crap or
I
what?
No, I swear to God. No.
Honey, you won't believe it's the damnedest thing. Connor is sifting through his stool right now in the bathroom.
And one day I was like, today is the day. That gum is gone. It's been 7 years. It was like May 10th or something like that.
All sport still exists.
Yeah, you know that's not true, right?
Oh, well, I tracked it. I probably figured it out about 4 years in, but
You're like, I don't think this is coming out. I think it might be gone
I
already.
didn't think about it every day, but I when the 7 years came up, I was like, yeah, it's been 7 years since I swallowed that gum.
I'm disappointed that you guys never got the fingernail polish treatment or the scissors when you had gum that was stuck in your hair.
I never got gum stuck in my
Yeah.
hair.
I would go
I
to
don't
bed
think
all
I
the
had that
time
either.
after chewing gum. Like when I was little, I loved gum, but I would swallow it all the time. But I would go to bed with gum in my mouth, and inevitably it'd fall out. It'd be on the pillow. You'd roll around. You'd wake up in the morning. You have gum in your head.
You should have been a Willy Wonka character. It's the one kid who really loves gum.
They encased him in peanut
Well,
butter
okay,
and
so you
carried
know-
him off
Hey,
set.
Gum Gary.
So I'm going to tell you why I like gum. Because as
It
baseball
disappears into a tube of
Gary
gum.
Young, when I was younger, chewing tobacco was huge.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
you'd see George Brett would have this big,
Yeah.
Yeah,
know,
a bunch of
chaw
chaw
in
in your mouth. Yeah.
And then I went to a card show
Scooby Snap.
and I heard Rod Carew said, yeah, I took gum and wrapped it in with my chewing
Mhm.
tobacco. And I was like, okay, I'm not old enough to do chewing tobacco, but I can do gum, and I
do
would
the gum.
wad it up and make these big.
And it comes in the same pouch.
Yeah, and you would put that in your mouth. So I'd walk around like that, pretend like I was chewing when I was playing baseball.
Would you spit it out? Would you spit?
Yeah, I would like try to spit, and then some would end up on your chest, and you'd be like, oh. But I had a lot of gum, and so yeah, there'd be times where I would go to bed with gum in my mouth, fall asleep, and next thing you know, you'd have to say something. I got gum in my hair.
So
we'd go and get the nail polish, and she would scrub it out, and then you have to cut a couple pieces of your hair.
That's it.
my
It was
mom
Trev Alberts
I never had that.
for All Sport.
when
Oh, really?
that's
Oh,
incredible.
can we reach him for comment?
Thank you, Munsky.
That's amazing.
Do you think that Trev Alberts has anything all sport left in his,
I-
like a storage unit or somewhere?
Yeah, I would
Which is
think so.
all
At
sport
his house
gear.
in South Carolina.
We have to get that. Could you reach out to him and ask him if he has any gear?
He's got an old cooler, like one of those old.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was
Tubs.
probably the top endorser of the
Yeah.
product.
He was the face of all sport. He was the Michael Jordan of all sport.
Yes. Oh,
That's
man.
incredible.
Okay, yeah. Next time we cross paths, we're asking about all.
All right, so we've now set a limit, you gum police over here, on the age of when you can start chewing gum or finish chewing gum.
You can still chew gum.
No, you can chew gum.
It just skews young.
Now-
I think
now,
more
I
young
would
people
say-
do.
In the more advanced age you get, the gum becomes more of a breath freshener than it
Yeah.
does a fun
Sure.
activity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is there a limit when you see somebody blowing bubbles? First of all, I think that's another thing I don't see much of. is
When's the
kids
last time I
blowing
blew
bubbles.
a bubble?
So
You don't-
my
you-
Yeah,
like
you don't see kids
a
blowing
good
bubbles.
piece of chewing gum that you can blow bubbles with, you don't blow a bubble. It's just natural.
I haven't had chewing gum.
so
We're
this
gonna do
is
this tomorrow. We're
I-
gonna have a chewing gum competition.
I'm in.
I could blow a bubble.
I'm
that's for
in.
sure.
Let's do it. So I stopped blowing bubbles when I started growing facial hair
Oh, that's when it changed.
because
oh yeah, you're
if it-
in a mess.
if it pops and you get it gets a little messy
it
there.
was right here.
Yeah, not great. So
So I'll let you guys, Mr. Police here.
Look, we're pro gum.
very pro gum.
pro
What's
gum.
the age limit for asking for an autograph? Because now you guys have all seen the
Do you see that
picture
guy
of the dude wearing the Padre hat at the All-Star game,
barreling
that is
over
leaning
kids?
over kids, and he's two-fisting baseballs to get an autograph. The age,
The kid was like, "Get off me!" and he was like, "No."
the age
It
limit
was amazing.
of somebody asking for an autograph. Is this the same age limit if you are into the Jersey Police?
Well, I'm not a jersey police. If you want to wear a jersey, wear a jersey. I don't care. I'm okay with it.
18.
Thank you.
I don't actually. So I don't have a huge problem with the autograph. I was never a big autograph guy myself.
Everybody
have-
has their own autograph journey.
I haven't a handful, but to me, it's more about you can't be pushing kids over, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was always like, especially now, if I meet a celebrity, as I did with our good friend Lane Kiffin,
That's right.
Yes.
I just
that's
get
right.
a picture with him. You just
Yeah.
get a selfie.
It's
with
much
him,
better.
right? Yeah,
Yes, it's much
it's way better than an autograph because you're like, hey, I met Lane Kiffin.
By the
Look
way,
at
what do
me.
you think Lane did in between being at the College World Series and being in SEC Media Days, where he's incredibly tan now?
Oh, we went on vacation together because we're best friends.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it was me and Lane. We
So,
were
Everybody,
hanging out.
everybody goes through their own
But
autograph journey.
what do you think Lane's reaction would have been if you would have asked for an autograph instead of a selfie?
I think he would have been confused. I mean, he seemed a little confused anyway, just in general, about everything.
He's just a confused person.
That's fair.
But there was I would describe it as a quizzical look on his face.
Yeah, that's kind of the permanent look for Lane, I think.
But I think it would have gone from quizzical to actual confusion if I asked for an autograph. I'm not going to police autographs. Like if I ran into David Ortiz or Pedro Martinez, I
Mhm.
might ask for the selfie and the autograph. I might double dip there.
Ooh.
Steph Curry, same deal. Kind of like my big
Yeah.
like all timers. But as long if you're obviously doing multiple items and you're going to sell them, that's always a no for me.
Gary, is there anybody on earth you would ask for an autograph right now? If you saw him.
Wow. Probably
Jordan?
probably Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I'd
that
Michael
would be
Jordan. Yeah.
I feel like that's the exception that proves the rule for a lot of people.
yeah.
Yeah, like Michael Jordan would be one that I would pause and say, "Hey, can I have your autograph?"
Yeah. 100%.
Like if we were in an airport or something,
No way he gives that out.
I feel like that it's the older the athlete or person is, the more the more valuable it is, obviously on the market, depending on how good they are. But also like the more valuable the autograph is, because I don't know, we're still in the autograph era, but I just feel like a Mickey Mantle autograph something. He's dead, but the Mickey Mantle autograph something, would.
Well, you've just described basically all things. They are more valuable as they get older.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
well, okay, so let's
mean,
bring this back to you.
any
Connor.
sort of that's any collectible though, right? Any collectible is more expensive.
Yeah.
So last year, I had somebody. I just wanted a baseball signed by Bobby Witt Jr. So
Sure
the
you
clubby with the Chasers, who I know, got me one. I said, whenever. And he said, yeah, no problem. When you work in that world, you're not supposed to ask for autographs. Media, you're not supposed to ask for autographs.
Yeah.
But would you chase down Bobby Witt Jr. right now to get an autograph? Have him sign it on the sweet spot of a baseball. And where I have it, I have a collection of autographed baseballs.
It would have to be a situation.
Not selling. I collect them.
It would have to be a situation like that where it was just like, I'm not going to go through a crowd of people where everybody's asking for autographs and be like the 15th guy to ask for an autograph. But if it's just like, we happen to cross paths at the park or whatever, and I have a baseball in my hand, maybe.
I think Happer would probably chase down Bobby Witt Jr. and ask to adopt him, if anything.
Hello, son.
Hey, I believe you are my son. Can you be part of my family now?
I was really excited to watch the All-Star game last night because it was the last All-Star game without Bobby Witt Jr. for 15 years.
Oh, prediction board.
I would say it's the last All-Star game
It's also the last All-Star game with Benintendi wearing a Royals uniform.
That is definitely correct as well.
It's probably the last All-Star game with Benintendi, let's be honest.
So I'm glad we're having this discussion, because this is going to come up next week for some that will get agitated at Fan Day that there are older Husker fans that are there without kids by their side asking for autographs.
Listen, I'm not going to police the autographs. I respect every fan's right to be a fan however they want to be, as long as it's respectful and doesn't harm anyone. But don't come up there with 1,000 different things for people to sign. You get one.
It's just so weird
because you get one autograph.
I got over it. Like I collected so many autographs of people that I would never remember, whether it's guys from the College World Series or the Omaha Royals.
Marshall McDougal, baby.
Yeah, whatever.
That's one of my prize. I love Marshall McDougal.
Like I have baseballs and they're covered in autographs from guys I would never hear of ever. And after a while, I started to think, hey, am I getting anything out of this? Like, I'm just going to end up throwing the baseballs around and the autographs get scraped off anyway.
I've got a JD Drew from back in the day.
I think I probably realized that at like age 13 or 14. I was like, you know what? I'm probably over autographs. People just, and people get into it as a hobby now, but I'm just way past it.
I got over the mass collection of autographs pretty young. Yeah. There's still, like I said, there's a handful of people that I would be like, yeah, that would be cool to get an autograph. I did get this was probably the last autograph I asked for. I was in college, probably 2021, and I was sitting right behind the Red Sox bullpen in Anaheim. Got a Manny Del Carmen autograph.
Let's go.
That's
awesome.
He was just the guy warming up. I really liked him for some reason. I just thought he was cool.
That would actually be the game. Like you would collect just random mid-2000s relievers.
That would be fun. He was like the one reliever that didn't make it from those, like, because there was like Papelbon and some other guys on there. I got a Manny Del Carmen autograph, but it's because I was not in a position to get a picture because he was like down in the bullpen. And so I was like, I'll get an autograph. Why not?
Manny Del Carmen.
Through gas.
Sure.
97.
Yeah, we had a couple good years of Manny Del Carmen.
That was also the last game that John Lester pitched before he had to go for cancer treatment.
Wow.
Good discussion.
Dampen the mood.
Sorry, I didn't mean to kill it there. Manny Del Carmen, by the way.
So if you're going for autographs, like you can't be an older fan and get Frost's autograph because you have to be, 8th grade or younger?
Yeah.
Is that the rule?
Yeah, you have to, and don't you still have to be in the junior Husker club?
Yeah.
So here's what I tell people that go to Fan Day. And they don't have this, like back in the day when they would take the freshmen and they would be up in the stands
Mhm.
is you want to, you don't know those players, but they're going to be really good.
Yeah.
I would go and just run through
Get all the freshmen. Yeah.
Have them sign everything because you know they're going to be
At some
good.
point,
Yeah.
you're going to have some of them are going to be really good.
So I know a guy who will bring his kid and he doesn't care about autographs, but he wants his son and daughter to have like huge time at Fan Day. He will go there with a plan. And I guarantee that he will, in his head, he's thinking of NFL guys who are going to eventually be NFL. So he'll go like Mathis, he'll go like the stars, and they'll like kids will be zigzagging all over the field going after. They won't have like a plan. I just want to get quarterbacks. He's like, no, we're going to get one quarterback, then we're going to go over here.
Yeah.
You have to have a plan Tuesday at Fan Day.
Gotta have that
to
dog
a
in
plan.
you.
Got to have a plan.
Now, is there a celebrity, non-sports, that you would
Tom
spring-
Hanks. Ah, man, I would love to hang out with Tom Hanks.
What would you have Tom Hanks sign?
I don't know. I just
His
want
terminal DVD.
A volleyball.
I have a couple.
A volleyball for sure.
A volleyball, yes.
Yeah, you got. If you had Tom Hanks autograph on a volleyball, that'd be pretty sick.
And he's probably signed what?
A billion of them.
Yeah.
I'd just be there for whatever quip Tom Hanks gives me, from one of his movies or something like just a little Tom
Like I don't
Hanks
know. Like
I would
I
ask
don't-
him to do a little Forrest Gump
I
voice
don't
for me.
know
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if he would like that.
if I ran into Jennifer Aniston and I wanted an autograph. Like, what would I have her sign?
Your boobs?
That's what I was. I know this probably happens to you a lot. Jennifer, can you sign my cleavage?
Wait a minute.
Wait, is this backwards? The Rock. I'd get the Rock's autograph, maybe.
That would be awesome. It
What
just
would you
says
get
The
it on?
Rock?
Like a baseball, a football?
A rock?
Just a rock, a boulder of
Yeah,
some. No,
Rock would be pretty clever.
Oh, you know where he would really, if you presented him his tequila.
oh, that's a good one.
sign
I
a
do have
bottle.
several
I-
empty
I
bottles. of
do
that,
like
yeah.
his tequila. I'd maybe have him sign.
Randy Jackson from American Idol. Right here. See that little smudge?
I would maybe give him a bicep flex. Have him sign the bicep. There we go. No, a tequila bottle's good. I hadn't.
And
that
they would
be good.
appreciate it too, because they would be for
Yeah, be like, hey, I support
Yeah.
your tequila. Sign my bottle.
Brian Cranston and Aaron Paul are going around pimping their tequila. If you brought them a tequila,
You should
bottle,
have
they-
him sign like some meth.
Yeah, bag of meth.
Yeah. Hanging so bag.
Big fan. Big.
You inspired me.
You realize you're not going to be able to resell this after I sign it. Oh, that would be the best way into celebrities that have like their own wine or tequila or
For
whatever.
Yeah.
Is you have
50 Cent?
or you have an empty bottle. Yeah. So it shows that you've
Number of
consumed
those
it.
lying around this building.
Vitamin water. That's a good idea though. If you're trying to get in good with them, you gotta be like, hey, check out this tequila that I drank all
Like
of.
all about the
Cheryl Crow's
promotion.
going to be down the street on Friday. Let's
That's
say you're a
right.
big Cheryl Crow fan. What is she signing?
You should bring her a
What is
stuffed
Cheryl
crow.
Crow endorsing?
My Live Strong bracelet.
Jeez.
Oh, the
That's-
onions to go up to her and ask her to sign a
Oh,
Live Strong
man.
bracelet. Oh my gosh.
It's the only thing I had on me, man.
Hey, and while you're at it, I got this Tour de France flag here. Can you sign
Would
that?
you
as
mind
well?
signing this replica yellow jersey for me?
Cheryl Crow has an endorsement deal or has endorsed the following brands and products. American Express. You can sign her, you can have her sign your credit
Can you sign
card.
the back of my card, please?
Got Milk.
Okay.
Okay.
So milk carton? Just give her a milk carton.
Revlon.
Yeah, I don't think I have that in my possession.
I don't know what Isla is. Isla?
I don't know.
There's your options for Cheryl Crow.
Milk.
They're setting up the street. They're setting
They're
up the stage down
very
the street.
limited.
So I think milk is your best option there.
American Express.
Milk on 102 degree day would be a very
Milk
bad
was
choice.
a bad
is a bad
choice. It would be a bad choice.
And then to wrap this up, so at the SEC, it's not as prevalent in the Big Ten.
Look at
but the
Sankey.
SEC media days is look at all the autograph hounds that
Yeah.
are in the lobby when the coaches
Hey,
and players
That's
walk
because
in.
they bring actual players to their media days and not, they bring the Heisman Trophy winner to their media days, not.
I'd get Alabama guys
Maybe
because
that
they're going
was-
to make me some money.
One of the better parts about it being at the football stadium that I was at last year in Indy, like you could sort of hide in there and they can sneak out any door. When they were in the hotel in Chicago, there's one door you can go in. It's the front. Everybody's standing out there with their football
Yeah.
helmets and trash bags worth of stuff. It was crazy crazy to see that.
I'm out on the
Chicago.
trash bags worth of stuff.
It-
Get
yeah.
out of here with that.
And they were lined
Well,
up
you
against
would've-
the wall, just waiting for him to come
Like
out and
the
catch a cab.
The people that were after Harbaugh, the Michigan stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you'd see a guy with a Bears helmet, a Michigan helmet, and maybe like a Colts helmet.
Dumb. I'm out. I'm out on the autograph resellers. I'm out.
There's people when you walk out of Werner Park at night, sitting in the back parking lot, just sitting at a little picnic table, waiting for them to come out of their little hole over there.
Well, if you go out to
Every
Winter
night.
Park, if you go
Like
out to
you have
Winter
these
Park,
autographs.
where they are coming out of the clubhouse before they walk down the ramp onto the field.
Yeah.
There will be 4 to 5 of the same people
Yep.
that are there all the time. There's one guy that held hostage of Terrence Gore's first professional home run. He went and got the ball, wouldn't give it back to Terrence Gore. And then
He was holding it ransom.
when Salvi Perez, his last time he was in rehab, came down for rehab assignment, the guy literally had a duffel bag. And when Salvi Perez came out, the guy opened the duffel bag and was like going through stuff, just handing him things.
Man.
Salvi was like nice and signing. Yeah.
I would be like, you get one.
But it's the same 4 or 5 guys.
Pick one.
And then I don't know if this is a smart move, but when you have prospects, so you watch this next time you're out at Warner, there'll be 3 people and there's the same people all the time sit by the visiting dugout.
Yep.
And they can see the players coming
And
and
they
they rifle through their cards.
And they also wear the opposing team's hats or jerseys, and then they change them. Same people as different teams come in, and then they change their jerseys.
See, that's a lot of investment to be a weird autograph reseller
Oh, I
person.
knew there'd be a Columbus Clippers fan here in Omaha. All right,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking.
Uh-huh.
But then there's the moment of when the Mets used to have their affiliate in Las Vegas, they came into play one year, and there was this dude. He had a Frank Viola jersey on. Frank Viola was a pitching coach.
Mhm.
Frank Viola walked right by him, and the guy didn't even like
Amazing.
acknowledge him. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. The only horror story I've heard about the Chasers was when they had Moustakas and Hosmer and all those guys,
Mhm.
and there would be collectors that would follow that Omaha team around the country because they had prospects and they were going up, so they were looking at the financial. Is Moustakas got accosted in a hotel lobby in Louisville, called the Royals front office, like went and got on his cell phone,
Wow.
and like the Royals came unglued.
They're like, this needs to stop.
Yeah, they like got upset at Omaha. Like, what are we doing? That they're in Louisville. What are we, But like their guys were starting to complain. I'll give credit to Bobby Witt Jr. last year. He would sign. He would only sign one per person,
Yes.
but he would sign for people. And everybody, I mean, there were a lot of adults that were, you could see that were thinking, hey, this guy is the next best thing. I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to make some money. But he would only sign. He'd go down the line, regardless of age, and he'd sign, but only one autograph per person.
See, I think that's a reasonable policy.
He's a pro.
One per
That's
person.
what he's doing. That's from the big league background that he comes from. Have you ever been asked for an autograph because you look like you're in the right place or you look like you're somebody?
Or because you are
because you are somebody, yes.
Yeah, how rude, Connor.
Just the Mark Harmon. I got asked once if I was Mark Harmon.
And your response was?
I said no.
Ah.
Yes, I couldn't sign something.
I was walking out of Warner Park 2 weeks ago, and some little kid is like, "You don't want my." He was like, "Can you sign this ball?" I was like, "No, you don't want me to sign this ball." And they were like, "No, we're from Texas. Sign the baseball." And I was like, "I don't know what that means, but okay." So I signed the baseball.
If there was a case of mistaken identity, I don't know who it would be for. I would 100% sign
That guy at the TBT.
whatever.
And I keep telling
He
Mark,
told me
we
about
should,
it.
We should have taken a picture.
Yeah,
This
'Cause
TBT guy.
He was on TV last
That's what
night.
I would sign it as too. TBT guy.
yeah, the TBT.
Not even have a name.
Yeah, you guys definitely related. I don't know who your guy would be either.
Well, okay, so here, let's talk about thinking about the future. What will be the average age of people that will ask for Art Kaluma's autograph this upcoming year?
Hopefully the average age is
It's going to go up. That average age is
Yes.
going to go
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
hopefully it's how much is how much of his pink out jersey going to go for?
Yeah, I mean, he's a lottery pick.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Good call.
no, you know what?
Second highest of all time behind Doug.
No, what's his name? Benoit Benjamin
Yeah.
went 2.
They still claim him.
I mean, he went there.
I'm saying pink out
Kind of.
jersey.
Oh, pink out
I'm
jersey.
saying highest
I thought you
pink
meant
out-
draft
oh.
position.
No, I'm saying
you
pink
said
out
lottery
jersey.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody will ever surpass Doug.
But Arthur will be second.
Art, yeah, I think he's got a shot of being second.
Highest pink out jersey retrieval of all time.
I think that's reasonable. Yeah.
Put it on the board.
Put it on the board. Predictions.
I wonder how much stuff McGowan signed.
Bryce was really good about that stuff.
Yeah, he was, and he's recognizable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And approachable too, because people started going up to him, and then more kids would go up to him. But a lot for him, it was kids.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a lot of like
How much of it was kids
shady, weird
that their
business going
dad
on?
was like, "Hey, go get this.
Maybe.
Go get his autograph."
Yeah, I'm sure that still happens. But he would like show up to various high school basketball games, and like he was around.
Yeah, just out and about.
Yeah, like I saw him at a Millard North game in Omaha one night, and they were like during the middle of the season.
Listen, some guys just love ball. Some guys just like watching hoops.
That's for sure.
Like our guy Jacob Padilla. You'll see him and just like random.
Just go to a gym and he'll be there.
If there's an AAU event within a 500-mile radius, Jacob Padilla will be there.
He was at the TBT.
I can almost guarantee it.
He was there as a fan, though.
Yeah,
but he was tweeting.
Oh yeah, he's even when he goes to places as fans, he tweets about it like he's reporting it, which I love, especially if I'm not there. It's perfect.
I got a tweet here from James who says, my brother-in-law used to play for the Charlotte Hornets. One of his neighbors mistook me for Rex Chapman when I was there visiting.
Did he sign?
As
Rex
follow-up.
Chapman.
That's the follow-up. Twitter guy, Rex Chapman.
I 100% would sign if somebody mistook me for someone. Just, okay, sure.
As block or charge. Love Rex.
To Clay Travis. the one like Nebraska athlete that off the top of my head that I think probably has signed the most autographs is Crouch.
Yeah.
Crouch's 2001 when that Sports Illustrated catalog or that magazine came out before the Heisman Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's why he had people that signed Eric Crouch's autograph.
That's actually interesting because how many times have you seen Tom Osborne's autograph, whether you have it or not, but how many times have you seen it and he has like so you know it in your head, you know what it looks like because of how many times we've just seen it on random memorabilia around for the last 30 years.
Okay. So
I can vision it in my head.
Yeah.
Same with Crouch. I could see Eric Crouch's
I can't see Crouch's. I can see Osborne's.
I can see Stetson Bennett here. He's saying, I can't sign, as all those people asking for autographs.
NIL money.
Final one, and then let's get on with the show, is the age of people that ask for T.O.'s autograph if he's out in public. Because he still signs, because I see him at a couple of events signing. Like, could you be T.O.'s age and ask him for an autograph? Like, I don't see little kids unless dad's
I don't think there's too many little kids.
Going, hey, do you know who that is?
The average age is for sure north of 30.
He may have the highest average age of autograph seekers of anybody.
It's true. Because it's probably in like 40s or 50s, right?
Is there not a Husker fan that doesn't own something that has T.O.'s autograph?
Yeah, there might not be anybody. I would say everybody has one.
Which ironically makes them not very valuable.
The little football, the footballs with the white panel on it.
Yes, which were famous.
National champions.
Yeah, but I don't know, like, what's the resale value of a T.O. autograph?
Well,
even back in the 90s.
Sure, yeah. Well, that's kind of
You're selling it to other Nebraska fans who have it.
I mean, the white whale from the 90s was LP.
Yeah.
If you have, I have seen maybe 2 or 3 autographed items from LP.
I've got a random Clinton Childs autograph.
Nice.
Yeah. How did you obtain that?
So they did a basketball game at like Millard West where like a bunch of the ex-players, it was like the year after they finished, or it was like the spring after they finished playing, went to Millard West and like played basketball against each other. It was like I think it was for them to make money, but and their eligibility was up. So they did a bunch of autographs afterward.
Well, that's what happens immediately after they get done. There's like, oh, we're going over to the card collecting store and we'll all be there.
Yeah. So that was, you like paid to get in or whatever. And then they like stood around the outside of the gym and you got autographs from everybody. So I brought I had my Husker poster. I was 8 or something. Brought my Husker poster and they all signed my little Husker poster.
Nice. And who knows where that Husker poster is right
now?
It's
at my parents' house. I know exactly where it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You have it framed?
No.
Rolled up?
No, I think it's probably still on my bedroom wall.
We were talking about baseball cards a couple of weeks ago and how many baseball cards I have and that I have not looked at in 20 years.
I haven't looked at them either. I know exactly where they are.
Bring them in. Let's look at them.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that baseball card show one day.
This is the perfect week to
do
do
that. It's the middle of the summer. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in next Friday?
2 Fridays.
I'm August 3rd. Is that 2 weeks from now?
It's 2 Fridays from Friday.
Oh, okay.
2 weeks from Friday.
Well, maybe Josh and I will have a little baseball card show.
August 3rd is a Wednesday.
August 5th.
What day am I
August
in?
5th.
Okay.
August 5th.
It's in my phone. I'm sure I'll show up the right day.
All right, guys. See you later.
Have a good show.
That's the crossover, and we'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Zone, taste of our takes. Sharp and Benning in the morning.
So the rhythm of the game was not very good.
What are you, Janet Jackson or somebody?
It's the rhythm of the night.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to go into full.
No. You should have just stayed with
asked
Janet.
before I said.
Just be a part of the Rhythm Nation.
I thought Rhythm was a dancer.
Oh my gosh.
Now, see ya.
For more, tune in every day to 1620 AM or go to 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Hot but less humid Wednesday. Expect plenty of sunshine throughout the day. It will be breezy with northwest winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour through the afternoon. Highs in the low 90s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
Food, festivals, and a whole lot of fun. You're sure to find some this summer in Sarpy County, Nebraska. From festivals and fireworks to homemade ales and beers to a winery and distilleries, Sarpy County is your go-to destination for summertime celebration. There's also shopping, sports action, concerts, and a whole lot more. But summer isn't going to last forever, so get out your calendar, click GoSarpy.com, and start making plans. Sarpy County Tourism. So near, so fun!
Sid Dillon Chevrolet has vehicles designed for the way you live. Shop our dealerships in stock and inbound inventory or to order your next vehicle. Visit SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
Watching a ball game at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is just, well, pretty awesome, actually. And it doesn't matter if you prefer the college dink or the big league crack of the bat, there's nothing better than watching a game with a cold, frosty one, Oscar's Pizza, or award-winning char-buffed wings with Oscar's Thai chili bourbon wing sauce. And with daily lunch and dinner specials, it's really a no-brainer. So get ready to watch your favorite team play ball at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and takeout at 162nd and Maple.
5X480, Dayton B100 V-Belt, one of the many parts Grainger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the day. The job was on hold, deadline fast approaching, but a quick search on Grainger.com and Rob found his part. And with same-day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done, safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes. And in 3 short weeks, you turn around and realize, hey, I can actually speak another language. Es como magia.
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was speaking another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
To try Babbel free, text radio to 64,000. Text RADIO to 64,000 to try Babbel free. Text radio to 64,000. It's the Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Otson. Let's get ready to rumble.
Licensing of the phrase "Let's get ready to rumble" just over the last 7+ years internationally is grossed approximately close to $400 million in retail sales.
Really?
You guys look like, what do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
On 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It's the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. I enjoyed collecting people's autograph stories, things that they've accumulated or not. Got some good stories from a lot of different people, honestly. A good one that we didn't mention of like, hey, if you're going up to this person, or how many people are you getting autographs for, even if you're not an autograph person? Jesse tweets into the show. He says, I'm definitely asking Tiger for an autograph if you run into him. Yeah, that'd be a good one. Tiger, MJ. I don't know how many guys outside of that I'm like, I'm going to chase you down for an autograph. I'm not sure.
I don't know that I would chase Michael Jordan down for one. Obviously I would
strong.
Obviously I would want one, but would I even go through the getting up the nerve to ask, because there's no way he's doing it, right?
I don't know. I don't know that he would not do it. I always feel like I'm inconveniencing them, or that they probably get it so much that I'm going to be the person who doesn't ask for it, and I'm
going to be the guy that sets him off today. It's not my intention, but
no, maybe
he's going to yell at me.
Maybe if I don't ask, they'll like me. And we could just have a normal conversation as human beings or something like that. Like, we always play out those scenarios in our head, or at least I do. My weird brain. Here we are on a Wednesday. It's a tweet bag on a Wednesday, which will return to its normal time at noon. So get in your questions, your thoughts, your concerns, your hypotheticals. We did receive a lot of tweets about the podcast or the radio replays last night, which we're experiencing some issues.
Yeah, they were acting really weird. I did the exact same thing I always do.
Yeah, it's not you, it's not me, it's just happening.
Yeah.
So we're working through some things over here.
We're gonna blame those fat cats in Washington.
That's right. Screw them. Trying to sabo our show. So we're working on that piece of it. So the tweet bag's coming up at noon today. Get in your questions at Happer Show on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed, or you can email. You could text into the show as well, 402-951-1620. Email on the Equitable Bank inbox, Connor at 1620thezone.com, Josh O at 1620thezone.com. Tweet bag, Baz as normal, and then we'll have a double dip of our summer tour here around Nebraska's schedule. We've talked Purdue. We've talked Illinois. Is that it? We've talked Georgia Southern.
Correct.
That's it. Today, we'll talk Michigan. Coming up here in just a couple minutes with Aaron McMann of M Live. He's on the Michigan beat. And then at 1 o'clock, we will talk Rutgers. Let's talk Rutgers.
Perfect.
With Chris Nalwasky of the Rutgers rival site, The Night Report. So that is what we will dive into today. So we're kind of full. But as always, we want to hear from you guys. Any way you can get in touch with the show. The lineup is powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. All-star game last night. We both have thoughts. As we started the crossover with, the mic'd up inning was the mic'd up pitchers. It's one of those things where we can't sit here and ask for it all the time, because there's only certain scenarios in which you could do it in. Every once in a while, it's a good thing, but the All-Star game is perfect for it, because you have the best pitchers who know exactly, who know what they're doing. I heard Manoah talk about this afterwards. He was like, yeah, I wasn't really sure if this was going to work, or if the mic was going to stay on, or how I was going to be able to pitch with it on. But once I warmed up the bullpen, I kind of went through it. And then we got the best possible outcome of Manoah's inning while he was mic'd up, and he struck out 3 dudes in a row, and he was basically narrating it the entire time he was going through. He was having pitches called by John Smoltz. It was fantastic. The mic'd up stuff mostly was good. I think they had some mic problems at various
cut out a couple times.
Yeah, Aaron Judge's mic went dead when they were talking to him and Giancarlo Stanton. It ended up being a good All-Star game, but It was, I mean, not much happened, and a lot of guys struck out. And as we talked about yesterday with Alan, this is baseball right now. It was a pretty good, a pretty good encapsulation of what baseball is right now. A lot of people come out of it and say, hey, it's just really, really hard to hit right now. And it is. The pitchers are really good. They understand what they're doing at a higher level than ever. They understand what's coming out of their hands at a higher level than ever and how to manipulate the baseball. There's been complaints about the baseball itself as well. Right now, it is harder. It is very difficult to be a major league hitter. We had some of the best hitters on planet Earth played an all-star game last night, and the results were a couple home run balls from Giancarlo Stanton and Byron Buxton.
I assume you saw the still photo of Stanton making contact with that baseball.
No.
Oh, you should look that up. He dented the baseball with his bat on contact.
What would I Google to get there? Or Twitter?
Stanton home run photo. Pretty impressive. The science of.
So you're saying, the ball compressed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens. He's pretty. I mean, you barrel something up, and it's crazy with the wood bat too. You wouldn't think this would happen because it happens with metal bats, and this is one of the things they wanted to minimize in the college game. But that sort of trampoline effect where you're swinging the baseball and it flips through, and then it sort of jolts the baseball forward. Yeah, if you're barreling up, it's going. I don't know how far his home run went last night, but it was to the back of the stands out there in left center field. It was quite the shot. And guys have figured out that part of it too. Hitting home runs, and it's going to lead to a lot of strikeouts, but sort of taking kind of all or nothing approaches. Giancarlo Stanton's having a really, really good year this year. He's another encapsulation of sort of where we're at in baseball right now, which is not the most fun product.
Yeah, last night was not a fun baseball game.
And that's basically baseball right now. It's not the most fun product at the moment. There's not much action. There's a lot of striking out. There's a lot of home runs. Neither of those are particularly action plays.
2 or 3 half innings with multiple base runners, I think, last night.
Yeah. So we stayed entertained, or we attempted to stay entertained with the interviews during the game.
Yeah, I thought a lot of the things Fox did to spice up the game were, even if they weren't executed well, they were good ideas. Like you could see, let's let David Ortiz walk up and down the dugout. Like I don't think it was the best execution of that idea, but I like the idea. I like that you tried something to make the broadcast more exciting.
And a couple things here before we talk Michigan. Last night, and you noticed it immediately if you're a baseball fan, or you only tune in for the big baseball games each year, which really are the All-Star game and then the playoffs, and specifically the World Series. No Joe Buck. The first big baseball game without Joe Buck.
It felt different.
It was noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
It was noticeable because they have the stupid thing at the All-Star game where they let the announcer be the PA guy, and he announces it to the fans in the stadium too. And he did it Joe Davis sort of did it in the Joe Buck monotone, voice, but you're like, wait a minute, this isn't Joe Buck. It'll just be weird to hear that Fox music and say, welcome back to the World Series, and it won't be Joe Buck.
It'll be weird to hear Joe Buck not read promos for failed Fox TV shows.
Shallow Hal out in theaters.
One more thing I want to make sure we talk about, and I just want to mention it briefly. I thought the pregame stuff with Denzel and Mrs. Robinson was just phenomenal. Great care taken in both of those little pieces that they did before the game started.
I totally agree. I was like, oh, Denzel's here.
Oh,
let's go.
Yeah.
Is Denzel little
I don't know where this is going.
Is he bigger than he used to be?
Oh, yes, I think that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that for a role?
I don't think so. The role of life.
Well, he sounds great, and we all love Denzel, a national treasure. I'm just wanted to point that out. I was like, that is Denzel.
And more.
We'll talk about an all-time bad take by the commissioner last night.
Yeah. He might be the worst one in sports.
Might. Yeah, I think so.
And Gary Bettman still runs the NHL.
Also, Aaron Judge, this was off the Fox broadcast. This is sort of on like ESPN's version, their Baseball Tonight, their like version of the red carpet. Aaron Judge was basically cornered with a question about his future, and he did not have a reassuring answer.
He had to have known that question was coming at some point this weekend, and he seemed ill-prepared for it.
He failed that test. We'll have that a little bit later on in the show. SEC Media Days are coming up. The ESPYs are tonight, and we'll have a quote-unquote preview. Something resembling a preview.
I thought I had another day to prep. I said this show is Thursday on yesterday's show.
Is it tonight?
It's tonight.
Yeah. We'll talk a little Husker football as well as we go on throughout the show. But up next, we'll talk Michigan football with Aaron McMann of M Live. It's a big season for the Wolverines. Can they follow up a Big Ten title with another one? Next on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Dan Thompson of Thompson & Thompson, third generation roofing, siding, gutters, and more, where they're celebrating 25 years of business.
Thank you, Omaha, and all the communities around for putting your trust in us for 25 years. Integrity is what our customers like about us, and they know they can trust us to protect their home and make it look great. Call Thompson & Thompson third generation today and become one of the thousands of customers who are glad they did. Or click thompsonthird.com.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
Chilling and grilling. You got to get that brat hamburger hot dog game right. Well, Rotella's has got breads galore. With over 100 years of tradition and history, Rotella's does it better than anybody. You need different sizes and buns or types, or maybe even want to go gluten-free, Rotella's has got you covered. They consider it a privilege to come through for you to make sure all your needs are met. The quality, that's a non-negotiable. It's going to be there. Great taste, great texture. Over 100 years of family tradition. It's Rotella's Italian Breads.
When you bundle your renters and auto insurance with Progressive, you could save money, but it doesn't cover any terrible memories living rent-free in your head.
Remember when one of your best players got injured, but not like on a play or anything? He got injured celebrating a play, and it's not like it was a game-winning play or in the playoffs, and he was out the rest of the season because he was injured while celebrating? Yeah.
Sorry, we can't save you from that memory, but we could save you money bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Renters insurance and bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
5X480. Dayton B100 V-Belt, one of the many parts Grainger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the day. The job was on hold, deadline fast approaching. But a quick search on Grainger.com and Rob found his part. And with same-day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done, safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Howdy, folks. Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. And time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, grab your gear and take 'em fishing. What do you say? Take a newcomer out fishing, share a pic with us at Game and Parks Online, and then become eligible to win some very cool prizes. Everything from a state park cabin stay to a nice kayak. It's our Take 'em Fishing Challenge. See more about that on the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.org. That's outdoornebraska.org. And we have some angler reminders to pass along as well, that any of you going fishing 16 years of age or older must have a current Nebraska fishing permit signed and on your person. And you need to learn the limits for the fish you're after, where you're fishing, daily bag, possession, and length. It's all part of knowing before going. I wish you the best out there fishing. I'm Greg Wagner with Nebraska Game and Parks.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
I just got a release from Iowa. Iowa has announced that they have 2 sold-out games already this year. Congratulations to them, by the way. September 10th against Iowa State and October 1st at home against Michigan. Let's talk some Michigan football right now with Aaron McMann, M Live. Aaron, hello. How are you?
I'm good, guys. Good morning.
Congratulations. I took a brief look at the old Twitter profile there. Aaron got married over the weekend. Mazel tov. Congratulations. Well done. Do you have to work through the wedding weekend?
No, I actually got a few days off.
Okay,
that's you off. I'm back now, and we'll do honeymoon here in a few weeks after Big Ten Media Days wraps up.
All the way back. Okay, so let's get into it. I mean, last year, obviously, a heck of a season and a heck of a response for Jim Harbaugh. Let's start with quarterbacks. I mean, which direction do they go? Is it still the same situation as last year with the 2 guys, or do you lean one side of the other heading into 2022?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's one I think a lot of fans here in Ann Arbor want an answer to as well. It's no secret Michigan played well last year with Cade McNamara at quarterback. I think he was the perfect fit for that offense. They didn't ask him to do too much. He wasn't expected to do too much. He kind of did his role. They were very much a power offense. They like to run the football, and it kind of went hand in hand. Now you've got 2 different coordinators at the helm. I think Michigan's going to be a little more dynamic offensively, so I think it opens things up for J.J. McCarthy a little bit. The issue is J.J. was hurt during the spring. He didn't throw it all. He had shoulder issues. It sounds like he's close to being back to 100%, but I don't think he's quite there yet. So he didn't get a lot of practice time in the spring, which I think gives Cade the upper hand. All signs point to Cade still being the number 1 guy heading into fall camp, and obviously that could change. Jim Harbaugh has always been a competition guy. He hasn't been afraid, to throw guys in the competition to kind of let the best guy in camp, go into week 1 as a starter. So, right now, if I was a betting man, I'd lean toward Cade McNamara being the guy week 1. I suspect you're going to see something similar to last year, though, where the Michigan coaching staff is going to use both quarterbacks in different situations. But I think right now, Cade's probably the front runner.
You think when McCarthy's in the game, he gets more reins? I was always sort of interested in the way they handled that last year, because they would sort of project what they were going to do, and he come in and frankly, he would just run the football. He didn't do much through the air last year. They didn't let him do much through the air. Like, does he get more opportunity to have more control of the offense when he comes in this year, and that's the difference?
Yeah, I think it opens things up a little bit for Michigan's offense. You mentioned when he came, he was primarily a runner. They kind of get him outside the pocket and let him kind of create on his own, so to speak. And that's, I think, the difference between Cade McNamara and J.J. McCarthy. Cade's kind of that pocket guy. You're not going to expect much else out of him, whereas J.J.'s got the wheels, he's got the strong arm, and he can kind of do both. Last year, they leaned more on the legs than the arm. You wonder if maybe his arm, he had arm issues last year that maybe we didn't know about. But I do think he opens things up for Michigan's offense and makes it a little bit more dynamic. You did see some big-time throws early last year with him. There's one play early, I think week 1 or week 2, where he kind of threw across his body across the field for a wide open touchdown. It was incredible from a true freshman's perspective. And I think got the fan base a little hyped up. But yeah, he changes the way I think they play, and I think ultimately that's probably where Michigan's offense wants to go. As I mentioned, they were primarily a running team last year. They like to pound the football, and I think ideally, they want to be able to throw the ball, down the field a little bit more than they did last year. So I think ultimately that's where Michigan heads, whether that's next year or maybe the tail end of this year, maybe to be seen. But J.J., he's a former 5-star kid. I think a lot of the fans here in Ann Arbor want to see him as a starting quarterback, and rightfully so. I think his ceiling is a little bit higher than McNamara. But you wonder behind the scenes if the Michigan coaching staff, truly believe they can lean on him week to week, because while we did see him a little bit last year, he was prone to making mistakes too. He fumbled the football at a key moment against Michigan State. Didn't play so well down the stretch. So they got some things to figure out in camp. I do think they like the quarterback room. I think from a depth perspective, this is probably one of the more talented rooms Jim Harbaugh's had since he's gotten to Michigan. Now it's kind of figuring out the puzzle pieces and figuring out what they want to do.
Where do things head in 2022 from a personnel perspective in terms of what they lost off of last year's team that won the Big Ten? And then, so I guess, simple question then, what's the expectation for Michigan football 2022?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a more dynamic, more explosive offense this year. I mean, as I mentioned, they liked to run the football last year. They're probably going to try and do that again this year. But they've got some pieces coming back in receivers that they really like. Their top receiver they lost week 1 last year, Ronnie Bell, to injury. He's back. They like some of the guys they have on the outside there. I do think that, as I mentioned, they're probably going to try and play J.J. McCarthy a little bit more, assuming the arm is healed and ready to go. And I think that's going to see. I think you're going to see some more, deep balls, more, passing attempts. So I think this offense is going to open up a little bit more. They did lose their key running back in Hassan Haskins against the NFL. They did get Blake Corum back, one of their 2 guys that they leaned on quite a bit last year. So there's some good things there. But the difference in the running game this year compared to last is you're going to see, I think, more of those guys get outside the tackle. Blake Corum excels on the outside. Their backup running back, they're going to lean on this year. Don Edwards had a couple of big games last year in the passing game. So I think you're just going to see Michigan throw the ball a little bit more offensively. And I think the offense is probably going to be the bellwether of this team. If they can put up points and move the football, I think you're going to see a high-scoring Michigan offense, something you can't really say, it's been a staple of the Jim Harbaugh era. And then defensively, I think they're due for a drop-off. I mean, they lose some of their obviously the talented players, Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo, Jackson Hill in the secondary, but not only talent, but the leadership too. I mean, I think everyone wants to talk about Aiden Hutchinson and the year he had. It was fantastic. It was Heisman Trophy worthy. The leadership there was key. I think if it wasn't for Aiden Hutchinson being around the program last year, I don't think they'd make the leap that they did defensively. You kind of brought the lock team together. He was the glue that kind of helped the defense together, and you lose that talent and the leadership, and they've got some holes to fill on the defensive side.
Yeah, there's a little more mystery, I think, than there has been in the last couple of years. Speaking of that, it's a light start as it usually is. Colorado State, Hawaii, UConn, and then Maryland's the first conference game at the end of September. And then you go to Kinnick, as I mentioned right there at the beginning, on October 1st. Is that a game that you're circling for Michigan as far as you can, figure out what they're going to be, who they are, or at least take stock of how things are going in the first, with the first month down of the season? Is that the big turning point game you think for them this year?
Yeah, I do. And it's kind of a similar situation to last year when they walked into Wisconsin. It was a very similar story. They started off the season hot, but you just didn't know. And it was just like this year, they had a bunch of home games to start last season. But once you go on the road, that's when you really find out what type of team you have. And that's kind of was the first inkling last year of that this Michigan football team was as good as they were. They went into Wisconsin, a place they hadn't won in almost 2 decades, and not only won a football game, but won it convincingly. So I do think that first game, I think it's October 1st against Iowa. I think there's an assumption it might be a night game. I think we're going to find out what type of Michigan football team that really is, because I think the expectation around here in Ann Arbor is that Michigan starts 4-0 and they kind of coast into the meat of the Big Ten schedule. And then the things obviously get a little more difficult. They've got Penn State and Michigan State at home, which is, I think, is a good thing for them. And I think worst case scenario there, they split those matchups. And they got some easy road games at Indiana and Rutgers. So the schedule for Michigan really sets up nicely. Get all the question marks and the uncertainty on defense. And even if they do, take a little dip, and maybe aren't as good as they were defensively last year, they can still they should be able to win 8-9 games pretty easily this year.
Let's go back to the way things ended last year. Obviously, it's huge to beat Ohio State, especially the way that they did, and then to smoke Iowa in the Big Ten championship game, the way that unfolded. But then you lose to Georgia in the college football playoff pretty convincingly, obviously. Is the takeaway from that and the end of last season, we accomplished a lot. We beat Ohio State. We won the Big Ten. Or is it we want more and look at what we laid an egg against Georgia? Like, how does the end of last season sit with the program?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think it depends on who you ask. If you ask the fan base here in Ann Arbor and the state of Michigan, I think they're gleefully happy with what happened last year. It's been so long since Michigan beat Ohio State. They hadn't ever gotten in the Big Ten championship game since the league launched its conference title game, and there were question marks with Jim Harbaugh on whether he could actually get this Michigan football program over the hump and back into national discussion. And I think they did that last year. Yes, they got beat down in the college football semifinal, and I think if you ask maybe Jim Harbaugh and the coaching staff and the returning players, that was great and all, but it was a taste of what they want. So I think the expectation is this year is for them to get back into that spot, compete for a Big Ten championship, beat Ohio State again, and then potentially go in the playoff and win a game. I think that's the next logical step. But there's a lot going on here. It's an interesting predicament because for so long here, up until last year, folks are starting to sour on Jim Harbaugh and his tenure at Michigan. Some folks were wondering if he was going to be the guy to do it. Now that he's able to do it, now it's about trying to build off of that and get Michigan, into the national championship discussion.
Aaron McMann is with us talking some Michigan football here. Speaking of Harbaugh, okay, that's a good transition. He's had an interesting offseason, the flirtation with the NFL, and then as of recently, more known for going on vacations and being in dad TikToks, which is super fun as well. I guess what's the feeling on Harbaugh right now, and Harbaugh's sort of standpoint in this too, because last year you felt like was almost he was on the brink. They needed last year to go that way, and then flirts with the NFL in the offseason. Where are we at with Harbaugh right now, and what is the near and then 1-2 years down the line future look like for him?
Yeah, so realistically, Jim Harbaugh signed a contract extension, so he's expected to be at Michigan here for the next, the immediate future, next 5 or 6 years. And whether that ends up happening, obviously, is a different story. His name has come up in the NFL circles here. It seems like every off season, he has said that he's done talking to the NFL, he's done pursuing an NFL job. Well, that may be the case, and I tend to take Jim for his word. He seems to be a pretty honest and straightforward guy from our dealings with him. That doesn't mean that another good year wouldn't perhaps pluck him from college football. His name is still a popular one. Obviously his brother's still a coach in the NFL. He's got plenty of ties in the NFL, so never say never there. But I think from his perspective, he's trying to get Michigan into that next logical step, and that's not only getting in the playoff but winning a national championship. He's talked about his desire to win a Super Bowl as a coach. He got there. He got to that game. Obviously, the 49ers couldn't win it. But he got the taste, and I think a national championship, I think, is the next logical step for this program. I don't know if it comes this year, given all the question marks on the defense side of the ball, but I do think, everyone wants to talk about how State's, offense and how loaded it is, and it rightfully so. The Buckeyes will be my pick to win the Big Ten this year. I think Michigan's offense could be one of the more underrated and more dynamic offenses we could see, this season. It's a testament, I think, the job Jim Harbaugh has done, not only bringing in a new staff. The last couple of years, he's made a lot of changes at coordinator and just bringing on new, younger, I guess, fresher blood. But they've still done a very good job recruiting. And that's one thing during Jim Harbaugh's tenure. Consistently, they've been top 15 nationally, top 10, a lot of, many years. They're still bringing in high-level talent here, and they've done a decent job of developing it. Now they've got I think now that they're in the discussion here, the playoff, I think it's about getting that next level, and not only getting the semifinal, but winning it and get to the national championship.
Aaron, I always like to ask our guests from around the Big Ten about Nebraska, and obviously Michigan and Nebraska play again this year. It's November 12th. It's up in Ann Arbor. These two teams haven't played a lot in the last decade. Last year was a great one in Lincoln. What is your view on Nebraska right now, and maybe even how, where that game lands on the schedule and how important it is for them? Because it sits in sort of an interesting spot, slammed in between Rutgers and Illinois before the Ohio State game. I guess what's your viewpoint on that and Nebraska right now?
Yeah, it'll probably be the last kind of marquee matchup Michigan's looking forward to ahead of that Ohio State game, and I think for Michigan it's advantageous because it comes in Ann Arbor, in the big house. I think it's a game they feel like they can win. But I will say this from an outsider's perspective, obviously someone who doesn't pay attention to the Nebraska program, week in and week out. I think folks are waiting. I think realize Scott Frost has his back against the wall. But at the same token, too, I think no one's ready to discount him either. I think folks realize they got a lot of players on the Nebraska roster. They were very close in several games last year, as you guys saw. They could have easily just been 8-4, than the record indicated. So I think it's do or die time for Scott Frost. I think he's got a big year ahead of him. That would not surprise me if they're competitive during the Big Ten West and have a shot to win it by the end of the year. It seems like that division's always such a crapshoot year in and year out.
Yeah.
So never say never. He's obviously got to get some wins under the belt there early to start the year to get things going. But I'm really curious how the West shakes out. There's probably 3 or 4 teams there, right? I could see genuinely having a shot to win the division.
Aaron McMann, M Live. Aaron, we appreciate the time, man. We'll do it again, especially before Nebraska and Michigan meet up in November. Appreciate the time, and thanks for the update.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
That's Aaron McMann, Ann Arbor News, M Live. And congratulations again to him for getting married over the weekend.
Married.
Marriage. It's a big deal.
Did we get the first interview post-marriage?
Likely.
Yeah, right.
I think today might be his first day back or something like that. I don't know.
Nothing but illustrious guests.
Always. The best pulls from Josh. I'm always interested in the viewpoint on Nebraska from others. And my guess is that's along the line what Aaron said there. That's going to be along the lines of what we hear from just about everybody. Hey, backs against the wall. That was a pretty good team last year. Everybody saw it. There's a certain amount of confidence, I think, from around the conference. I will be interested to see where they are picked when the media poll is released next Monday. I think they might be picked second or tied for second, somewhere in that range, just based off of what we heard from around the league, because it's the league's media that votes on this stuff. People seem to be kind of high on Nebraska this year, and it has a lot to do with what Nebraska did in the offseason and how close they were last year and all that stuff. These are general viewpoints that all go, we know it better, but this is the perception of Nebraska. But the perception of the West is something that we're also going to, figure out more and more of as we go down this road of talking to people from around the league. The perception of the West has been, I'm not really sure, so I guess Wisconsin. And I think it's still there as of right now. Not to be too homerish, but I've said this for a long time. I think the West is waiting for someone to grab it and hold it, and that team could be a team with their ceiling like Nebraska. They obviously haven't held up their end of the bargain over the last decade or half of one to, since being in the Big Ten West. But Wisconsin and Iowa haven't changed a lot. There's small fluctuations with that, and those are really good and solid programs. And I'm not saying they're going to be easy to overtake, but there is this sense around the conference and around the division, and maybe even the other division, looking at the West and saying, I got a lot of respect for Wisconsin and Iowa, but Nebraska is the program over there with the ceiling. And I got a lot of respect for Minnesota too, but Nebraska, we're seeing people take Purdue for the West Championship this year. Like, I don't know that anybody knows where. Would you be surprised? And I don't know how many people are going to end up voting in this when the media poll comes out next week at the beginning of media days. Would you be surprised if Nebraska got a first place vote or two?
No, I think you could see.
I don't think they're going to be the consensus pick to win the.
No,
I don't think they're going to be the pick to win the division.
But you could see 4 teams get.
I think
a vote.
Wisconsin gets votes. I think Iowa gets votes. I think Purdue gets votes. And I think Nebraska might get a couple to win the division. And I know people are listening to this and they're like, "What are you talking about?" We're talking them trying to We're trying to get them to 6. I'm saying this is the perception. We've been gathering all these things throughout the offseason, whether it's the FPI or, all the predictive analytics that come out, preseason magazines, and now we're getting into preseason predictions from local, from writers. And yeah, the sense on Nebraska is that they are going to be in that conversation.
Somebody's going to go, oh, I got to make a pick. Nobody looks good in that division. Nebraska's schedule is quote unquote easy. Yep. New offense. Yeah, sure, I'll pick them.
Yep. Maybe. That would be, maybe we could put that on the board. Nebraska gets at least one vote to win the Big Ten West. I think it's going out on a limb a little bit. So there you go. We'll see what happens when that comes out next week. Michigan's an interesting team this year. You hear that though? There's some confidence. Like, okay, what's the next step? That's big bad Ohio State looking at you. And they are going to be good this year. But it's interesting to hear sort of how different they'll be from last year. Michigan was the classic Big Ten version of itself where we're not going to do a whole lot on offense. We have a really good offensive line. We have a couple really good running backs, and our quarterback play does fine for us, but we're not particularly explosive, but our defense is almost elite, if not elite, with, the number 2 pick in the draft on their line last year, and another top round guy, Jabo, and another guy in the back end. Dax Hill is pretty good as well. They lose all those guys, so the defense takes a step back. The offense going to have to prop them up a little bit, score a few more points this year. It'll be interesting to see what Michigan looks like on November 12th when Nebraska heads to Ann Arbor. And then the Wolverines 2 weeks later, the day after Nebraska plays Iowa, November 26th, Michigan will have to go to Ohio State. They will not be getting a warm welcome. Ohio State will likely be undefeated and trying to get into the college football playoffs. So I would just say good luck.
Lock of the season.
I would just say good luck.
Ohio State over Michigan.
Yeah. I sort of feel that way too. We will take a break. Thanks to Aaron for taking the time today. We will come back with Chris Basnett from the Lincoln Journal-Star. How are things in the home front? Next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Who's pitching tonight?
Yu Darvish, having a great year.
The Connor Happer Show.
I know about that guy.
On 1620 The Zone.
What a mess.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio. This is 1620 The Zone.
Across the country, more than 3,000 people were killed by distracted driving. 3,000 mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, and friends. In Nebraska, distracted driving-related crashes have gone up 32% since 2010. That's 4,500 crashes, 1,500 injured, and more than 100 dead. Using your phone while you drive is illegal. Drive safely. Somebody's waiting for you back home.
Visit nedrivingconcern.org. Brought to you by the Nebraska chapter of the National Safety Council and the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Woodhouse Mazda and Woodhouse Place Mazda are the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers, conveniently located in Bellevue or in Millard off 144th and Giles Road. You can shop, finance, and buy your next Mazda SUV or sedan your way. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you to your next vehicle, and our full service department is there for you when your vehicle needs maintenance. Visit us at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com to learn more.
If you're tired of trading one dead-end job for another, trade your job for a career. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers has positions open right now. As an IBEW residential electrician, you'll get training, higher pay, paid health care, retirement, and up to a $1,000 sign-on bonus. Build a better life for you and your family. Make it happen. Call 402-810-0789 right now. That's 402-810-0789. Or get details at IBEW22.org.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Chris Basnett.
No way.
Chris Basnett.
No way.
Chris Basnett. Chris Basnett.
No way.
Chris Basnett, Lincoln Journal star on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
No way. Hey. Chris Basnett from the Lincoln Journal Star joins us now. No way. Hey, Baz.
Hey, guys. How we doing?
What would you give up to be able to putt like Cam Smith?
I'd probably give up a toe.
I was like, your child? I don't know. Something like that.
I'm not giving up my child. Come on.
Okay, but that'd be really cool to be able to putt like Cam Smith.
It'd be pretty sweet. I'd be happy to putt like Sam Smith, the musical artist, with as bad as I putt.
Do we know how well Sam Smith, the musical artist, putts?
It can't be well, but it might be better than me.
It may be. I was just amazed. Like the stat was, I keep repeating it. 12 putts in the final 9 holes.
Just ridiculous.
That's not even real. Like that
4 or 5.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like we are more than tripling that in a round. Way more than tripling that in a round.
Oh, it's brutal. I'd be like when I play competitively. Listen to me. When I play competitive golf, I'm not really that competitive, first of all. But I set a goal for 30, and I've never gotten to 30 in a round. So that tells you about all you need to know.
Yeah. It was fun to watch over the weekend. It got really, really fun on 18 there. We were all sitting there waiting for making sure that Roy McIlroy wasn't going to hole out a chip. Otherwise, we would have freaked out. Or if he would have just aced it on the par 4 18th, and we all would have just lost our minds. What would you have done if that would have happened?
Could you imagine if A, he either chipped in, which would have been incredible in its own right, or B, made a 1 on the 18th hole at St. Andrews to win the Open Championship?
And it was him, and it's Rory, right? Everybody loves Rory.
Yeah, like the most popular golfer in the world, not named Tiger at the moment, at the home of golf. Oh my God, I'd still be missing probably if that happened.
That's what I was looking for. Do we think we'll get off golf in a second? Do we think like how much time do we have with Tiger left?
Oh boy, I don't think we have a lot. I think it's majors only, and it's pretty tough to be competitive. And if you're only playing 4 golf tournaments a year, and you're in your mid 40s, and you got 1.5 legs and a bad back, so yeah, I think the clock is ticking, and that became pretty clear that last weekend.
Yeah, it felt like that
felt like an end to me.
Yeah, it did.
Or the beginning of an end, I should say.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, Baz, we were just talking about this. I don't know if you have a vote or not, so maybe you could give us your insight. Do you have a vote in the preseason media poll for the Big Ten?
I do not for football. No,
okay.
I do for basketball, but not for football.
Okay. Do you think Nebraska will get at least one vote to win the Big Ten West?
Yes, I do. Because there's always one out there somewhere. Whether it's accurate or not, there's always going to be one out there somewhere. So based on that, I say yes, they get at least one. Maybe no more, but they at least get one.
Well, there could be real reasoning to it too. Like, I don't know the division is, totally strong. You could see any one of 4 or maybe even 5 teams winning it, depending on how crazy you are. Like, ultimately, people sort of get sick, I think, of Wisconsin or Iowa, and they're like, yeah, I think Nebraska could do it this. Like, there are real reasons why it could happen, not just, yeah, I think some guy will do it.
Oh, you wanted real reasons why it would happen?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, you're right. A lot of it, I think, is that the division's so wide open, right? Like, Wisconsin's not a runaway favorite. Iowa's not a runaway favorite, and those two will get a lot of the votes. Purdue's probably going to get some votes, and then it's probably Nebraska after that. And if Nebraska finishes 4th in that voting, I'd be maybe a little surprised. But yeah, it's just a division where there's no clear runaway team like Wisconsin has been in the past, like you were talking about. So based on that alone, I think you'll see Nebraska get some votes. I think also, just based on the fact, like, you look at Nebraska's roster, and it's like a great on paper roster. There's dudes on the roster, and they're a team that impresses you when they get off the bus. So, like, there's like you said, there's reasons to vote for Nebraska, but just being close enough to it the last several years, it's tough for me to pick them because of those reasons.
We've now said this, I think, the last couple years, but it used to be flipped, where the public perception on Nebraska from the offseason, whether it's the predictive analytics or the preseason magazines or the predictions outright in general, would be like, yeah, I'm not so sure about them this year. We'll see. And fans would be like, here are 12 reasons why you're wrong and you're an idiot, and Nebraska is actually going to win the Big Ten West. And now it's flipped to where the perception is actually higher than what people think it's going to be. We're sitting over here in Nebraska thinking, yeah, I think, 6 or 7 wins would do the trick, and I would be okay with that. Everybody else is like, hey, watch out. This there's a world here where they could win the division or win 8 or 9 games.
Well, I mean, we've seen it up close, right? Like, they haven't come close to winning 8 or 9 games under Scott Frost. And we can talk about being close all you want. Last year, they still went 3-9. They found ways to lose those games. I think that type of season, especially following the seasons that came before it, it just puts Nebraska in such a prove-it mode for the people that follow the program closely, whether it's media or fans, and it's maybe a different deal for like you say, the predictive analytics, the national writers who are looking at Nebraska from afar and things like that. We've seen it up close. We've seen this team find different ways to lose games and continue to make the same mistakes and do all these other things. We've seen the turmoil up close in the off season. So yeah, could they win 8 or 9? Sure, absolutely they could, but they got to prove they can win more than 4 or 5 first. And I think that's just the result of us seeing up close the ways Nebraska has held itself back over the years.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Chris Basnett's with us. Who would you say, and we may have talked about this before, who would you say is Nebraska's go-to guy on offense?
Oh boy, that's a great. I don't know if they know yet right now. Is it Anthony Grant? I don't know. Is it Trey Palmer? I don't know. I can't give you a guy right now. It's because A, there's so many new faces on that side of the ball, and B, Adrian Martinez isn't the quarterback anymore, so there's not an obvious choice there. So yeah, I that's a great question, Hap. I don't know if they have a go-to guy right now. That's based on personnel. It's based on what Mark Whipple might want to do on offense. I think there's too many unknowns right now.
Well, the reason I ask is because you look at what Whipple's offenses have done in the past, and they've had obviously really good players, and most notably, the combo of Jordan Addison and Kenny Pickett last year. Addison had, almost 1,600 yards receiving, and the year before that, in a 10-game season, had almost 700. They've always highlighted a guy in the offense and have always got, find a way to get that guy the ball, 100 catch seasons, stuff like that. If they I think Trey Palmer is the most likely candidate. If that's the case, and if they decide on him as the guy, what is a realistic season for him? Or are we still I'm still trying to figure out what they are first before we go too far down that road.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you're going to pick a guy, it's Trey Palmer. I think the skills, the skill set, the SEC pedigree, all that sort of stuff. It kind of adds up to it being him, and like you said, based on what Whipple's done in the past. So, what does it look like? I don't know. Can he get to 100 catches in Nebraska's schedule, playing in the Big Ten, playing and kind of cliche, but playing in the cold weather and the elements? Obviously they made it happen at Pittsburgh last year, which isn't exactly a tropical paradise. But yeah, that's the question. You look at historically the numbers for Nebraska receivers, and even when Nebraska's moved away from the ground game, you have so precious few guys that just really pile up catches, pile up yards to ridiculous totals. So if he gets to 1,000 yards, does that mean he's the go-to guy, or is he going to get to 1,200 or 1,300? I don't know. I think a lot of it depends on what the quarterback situation looks like. Does Casey Thompson end up being the guy? Is there a revolving door there? What does the offensive line do to protect the quarterback? So, yeah, it's. I think a lot of us are of the same mind that Trey Palmer's probably the guy. There's so many outside factors right now that's tough to say that with definition what that looks like.
So last year, Samori Toure, who was far and away, I mean, if you include Austin Allen, you can as well in that conversation, but he's not a receiver. Samori Toure, who was Nebraska's best receiver a year ago, had 46 catches, 898 yards, which is a great yards total based off of that number, but 46 catches, that's half. And you go back to 2018, which I think you look at Stanley Morgan and JD Spielman, the guys from that year, they had 70 and 66 respectively, which adds up, and that's a good wide receiver season. But it's I don't know, it'll be interesting to see if they decide, hey, I think it could be this one guy, and this guy is our quote unquote Jordan Addison, or if we spread it around and two guys have 50 catches. With that being said, last year they only had one guy who had 46. So it's just a weird spot to be in.
It's totally bizarre. You're right. Look, if Trey Palmer gets to 75 catches this year, then it's pretty clear what the aim is, because like you said, that the numbers just haven't been there outside of a couple guys over the past several years. So yeah, could it turn that direction? Absolutely. I think it could. And I think Trey Palmer's got the potential to be a 75, 80 catch guy and put up big numbers, and especially if the quarterback position pans out and the offensive line pans out. I think you'll probably see that happen. But at the same time, again, there's so many unknowns. Trey Palmer's an unknown. We don't know how he's going to fit in the Big Ten, how he's going to play against Big Ten defenses and things like that. So maybe it is a deal where they have a couple different guys, spread it around. Each of them gets 50, 55, somewhere in there. But yeah, it's just so hard right now to know because of the number of unknowns on that side of the ball.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Bads, we'll let you go. Appreciate the time as always. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Zach. Talk to you soon.
That's Chris Basnett from the Lincoln Journal-Star. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on in the show. Just the catches. It's crazy to think about especially when you match it up against Whipple's offenses from the last couple of years, who have had great players, obviously, and last year culminated with a first-round draft pick at quarterback and a wide receiver who probably could have gone first round, but he transferred to USC instead because he wanted to make NIL money, which he's not making as much of as he thought he was going to be making, but that's a different thing. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Also, we have ACC Media Days that are beginning, and we have continued our streak of every conference commissioner saying that we are the best conference.
Good.
Jim Phillips, quote, "All metrics, we are one of the leaders in the country, except the revenue piece of it."
Oh, I guess I appreciate the honesty, but
he got as close as he could to saying we're the best conference of all time. He's being honest with us, which is nice.
Couple poll questions from your interview with Chris at Happer Show on Twitter. Would you cut off a toe to putt like Cameron Smith? Yes or no?
Good one.
Would you cut off a toe to putt like Sam Smith, the musician? Yes or no?
It's going to be a no for me. That should be about 100% no, right? And not knowing how good or bad Sam Smith is at golf, I'm just guessing.
Yeah, the no's winning that pretty heavy. Guessing a couple trolls voting yes.
Always is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks to Baz for joining. We'll come back with Josh's odd news. Reminder, the Tweetbag is coming up at noon, so get in your tweets at Connor Happer, at Happer Show, at producer_Josh. We will open up the bag right after the odd news, which is next on 1620 The Zone. But join us this Friday out at Warner Park. We have the Omaha Storm Chasers taking on the Iowa Cubs. It's Friday night fireworks after the game from about 6:05 to 7:05. We'll have people out there handing out some swag, and you can watch the Chasers and the Iowa Cubs and fireworks after the game. Keep listening to 1620 The Zone. Also, to find out how you can get passes to see the Storm Chasers this season, you can find it all at 1620thezone.com.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Since the Olympics used to be played completely in the nude, if that was still true today, which modern sport would be the worst one to participate in?
I honestly do think about the running sports just flopping around all over the place. The 100-meter dash, ouch. Got to hold your kibbles and bits in place.
Oh, the flipping and the flopping?
Oh, that's a lot of flipping and flopping.
Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Hot but less humid Wednesday. Expect plenty of sunshine throughout the day. It will be breezy with northwest winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour through the afternoon. Highs in the low 90s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Woodhouse Mazda and Woodhouse Place Mazda are the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers, conveniently located in Bellevue or in Millard off 144th and Giles Road. You can shop, finance, and buy your next Mazda SUV or sedan your way. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you to your next vehicle, and our full service department is there for you when your vehicle needs maintenance. Visit us at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com to learn more.
Would you rather that your roof or siding last 5 years or 50 years? I'm Dan Thompson of Thompson & Thompson 3rd Generation. Products today last much longer. Gone are the days of just tear shingles off, nail shingles on. Whether it's impact-resistant, high wind tolerance, or in the case of EuroShield, hail-proof rubber shingles, you can have great designer looks and durability. At Thompson & Thompson 3rd Generation, we don't just give you an estimate. We educate you and give you options. So you decide, 5 or 50. Click Thompson 3rd today and start enjoying your new roof or siding.
1620 The Zone, live and local, broadcasting 6A to 6P in the Host Coffee Zone studio. Host Coffee, building healthy and happy break room refreshment services to Omaha and Lincoln metro area businesses. Discover a better break room solution for your office at sales@hostcoffee.net.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
This message is for the guy who isn't perfect in the bedroom. And let's be honest, who is? Maybe the issue is getting it up or keeping it up, or maybe it's finishing too soon. If any of these performance hiccups sound familiar to you, don't sweat it. Hims can help. At 4hims.com, you can go online and get clinically proven prescription medication that treats these issues prescribed for you, if appropriate, by licensed medical providers. And the medication is shipped free to your door in discreet packaging. Plus, Hims gives you unlimited follow-up visits with medical providers. No one's perfect in the bedroom every time, but with Hims, you can get a lot closer than before, and chances are your partner will agree.
To get started today, go to 4hims.com/perfect. That's 4hims.com/perfect for your free visit. FORHIMS.com/PERFECT.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees.
That's better.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Onson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, it's time for the odd news. Josh has that. Remember to get your questions, thoughts in for the tweet bag, which is coming up here in just a couple minutes. You can also text those in to 402-951-1620. Josh, hello.
Hello, Connor. How are we doing today?
Good. What do we have?
We're going to talk about some things here in the odd news.
Nudity?
No. Everyone keeps their clothes on here.
Across the pond?
Yes. Yes, we do have one international story.
Got it.
One Florida story. Okay, let's begin.
Go.
My papers are out of order.
Oh.
There we go. A Subway restaurant is repaying an $1,800 fine a woman got for bringing her unfinished sandwich on a plane. If you've flown enough times, you've inevitably left something that you shouldn't in your bag, pair of scissors, toiletries, too much water in your water bottle, whatever. The repercussions are wide-ranging. An Australian woman says she recently had to deal with the latter when returning home facing an $1,800 fine after forgetting to declare a Subway sandwich.
Dude, really? Like, they don't just say, hey, could you take that sandwich out and throw it away?
Apparently not. On TikTok, Jessica Lee says she purchased a foot-long Subway sandwich during a layover in Singapore. I ate 6 inches before my flight, saved the other 6 inches for the actual flight. Little nosh on the plane, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
She stated, however, she never actually finished the sandwich on the plane, which is where things went wrong. I thought the stuff you had to declare was your carry-ons, your luggage. So I did not declare the chicken on the sandwich. I did not declare the lettuce on the sandwich. And once that was discovered, the Australian government fined this woman about $1,800.
What is wrong with them?
In the video, Lee admitted it was her mistake and reached for comment. Australian spokesperson said that Lee should have been aware that her actions were a breach of Australia's Biosecurity Act.
Jeez.
All meat products and vegetables must be declared on the incoming passenger card. This is a legal declaration, a spokesperson told the news station there in Australia. All airlines play mandatory biosecurity messaging before the flight lands.
All right, we get it. She broke the rules. Come on.
But Subway is helping her out. They're covering the fine for her. Subway getting plenty of positive exposure in return.
Yeah, great call.
Yeah. Lee's video has gotten over 500,000 views on TikTok. Subway makes my fine worth every single cent, she wrote on TikTok.
Well, obviously, she didn't have to pay any of it.
Yeah. They've also gained a customer for life, she says.
All right. Come on. Let's not go that far. I have a couple follow-ups.
Yes. I thought you might.
Subway sandwich on the plane. Is that okay? You know, people always get triggered when people bring food around them because they have to smell it. Now, if you get a Subway sandwich, if you had a Subway sandwich before, they do have a certain smell to them usually. The onions in particular.
Okay.
Who's not getting onions on their sandwich? Are you not getting onions on your sandwich?
No, I'm going onions.
Good. Sandwiches don't smell great after a while.
Okay, yeah, certainly depends on what you're getting. How fresh is that bread? Does it still have that bread odor, for lack of a better term?
Yep.
These are fair questions.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that she like, I don't know, if I'm sitting next to a person in the tight quarters of an airplane, I get the middle seat, and the person in the window seat's like, dives into their backpack and rips out half of a Subway sandwich and starts smashing it. I'm like, okay, I guess I get it, but come on. The rest of us are eating the peanuts and the Chex Mix like everybody else. Why don't we just hold off for an hour? I guess it depends on how long the flight is too.
Yeah, Singapore to Australia feels like a long flight.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I stand corrected. I'm just saying, people get really touchy about that stuff. I don't, as the person who once microwaved fish in the office, and nobody really cared, except for everyone was like, "Oh, you can't microwave fish in the office because that's what I'm supposed to say." They didn't actually smell it.
I've never had a sandwich last long enough to bother other people.
Same, yeah, to just eat the whole sandwich in the first try, but sometimes you don't. Some people eat food differently than us, I suppose.
I guess.
Good job by Subway, though.
Yeah, definitely the right move. We go to Florida, where a man called 911 about Sour Patch Kids. Apparently, I was hungry when I was gathering these stories this morning. A heavily intoxicated Florida man was arrested Saturday night for calling 911 to report that his girlfriend, quote, wished to eat Sour Patch Kids, according to police. An arrest affidavit does not reveal why Joshua Larson allegedly phoned the police at 11:45. When asked about the call by a sheriff's deputy, Larson smiled and walked away from cops outside his residence, 10 miles outside of St. Petersburg. Larson allegedly struggled with deputies as they sought to place him in handcuffs. An electronic control weapon was eventually used to take Larson into custody. Can we just
taser?
Is taser a trademark brand name that we cannot use or something? Charged with misuse of 911, Larson was booked into the county jail and freed yesterday afternoon on his own recognizance. As part of his release, Larson has been ordered by a judge not to consume alcohol and has been outfitted with an alcohol monitoring device.
Yeah, that seems right. You get so drunk you call 911 and ask for Sour Patch Kids. That's probably, I don't know. You might have some sort of a problem.
I need police over here. My girlfriend's about to eat my Sour Patch Kids.
Nice. Hey, Sour Patch Kids are really good though. And when you do have the hankering for Sour Patch Kids, only Sour Patch Kids will fix this.
Yeah, you're not going to get those sour rings and get the same thing.
This is the thing, like you don't have anything in your house that resembles the Sour Patch Kids or really sour snacks, candy snacks in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get it in your head that you want Sour Patch Kids, you're gonna need Sour Patch Kids. It's a good candy. Maybe number one for me.
Oh, you alluded to that yesterday.
Did I?
Yeah. Second straight day you've brought up Sour Patch Kids and your love for them.
How did it come up yesterday?
I don't remember. How does anything come up on the show?
Sour Patch Kids. I could do just a quick top 5. Sour Patch Kids, Skittles. As you can tell, I'm not a huge chocolate guy. There are some chocolate candies that are good.
Salted Nut Roll.
Salted Nut Roll is really, really good. Peanut Butter Cups, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that's always in my
loose candy drawer.
Well, no, I cleaned out the loose candy. It was causing a problem. The loose candy drawer was an issue. But the when you go to the ice cream stores and they mix it in.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's got to be in the peanut butter, the peanut butter cups. That's
solid play.
That was 4. I don't know. Throw in like Kit Kats or something.
Yeah. You like the big Kit Kat or the regular Kit Kat?
Regular Kit Kat.
Okay. Flavored? You go the flavored Kit Kats?
No, just Kit Kat.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me about you. We head to Missouri for the final story. Connor, I think you're going to have some thoughts on this. A lawsuit says Bass Pro will not honor the lifetime warranty on a pair of socks. A Missouri man says in a class action lawsuit against Bass Pro that the outdoor outfitter is refusing to honor its lifetime warranty on socks. Kent Slaughter, great name, of Springfield, Missouri, said that after years of exchanging his Redhead lifetime guarantee all-purpose wool socks every time they wore out. The Springfield-based company changed its policy in 2021 before he tried to return 4 pairs of socks. Instead of getting another pair with a lifetime warranty, Slaughter was given socks that only carried a 60-day warranty. A Bass Pro representative said the company won't comment on pending litigation. The lawsuit said Bass Pro is misrepresenting the socks in its ads because it says they are the last sock you'll ever need to buy because of the lifetime warranty. Slaughter said in the lawsuit that the warranty was a major factor in his decision to buy the socks. Connor, how are you ruling?
You got to go with what you're advertising. That's false advertisement. I would say that the guy has earned it because he spent a lot of his time going back to the same store, getting the same socks, and pulling the lifetime war. Like each time he went back to Bass Pro Shops, they were probably like, "Dude, are you serious? Like you're actually doing this right now? You've only bought 1 pair of socks your entire life, or 4 or whatever."
About 4 pair?
He's like, "Yep, this was what I was guaranteed.
They've worn out. I would like 4 more."
But I often think that I should take better advantage of the things that are up. Like sometimes, sales are run on things and I miss them. And then 2 weeks later, I'll need that thing and that's when I'll buy it. Because I'm very much a like minute to minute purchaser. Like, what do I need today? I will get that. And that does not bode well for saving money. Or even, it's the same thing with like shirts and stuff like that too. If I feel like I need a new shirt or a shirt for a special occasion or a quarter zip or whatever it is, I'll go to the store and grab it that day. And then I'm at the mercy of what's available and the price that it costs. It's an issue.
Well, I mean, I think who's the arbiter of this sock is worn out? Is it the customer or is it the retailer? I mean, if he brings like the heel is worn out and there's a big hole in it, sure, obviously. But if he's bringing it back to the Bass Pro and it's simply worn down a little bit, who's making that call?
That falls under the umbrella of a warranty, right? I mean, warranties, you can get it replaced. Something goes wrong. And in his eyes, something went wrong. It's worn down. I want fresh socks. Daddy needs a new pair of socks.
New sock is a great feeling.
It is, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing Daniel says, I'm with the guy in the lawsuit. Lifetime warranty is a scam that relies on people forgetting that it exists, aka me, not keeping receipts, etc. Definitely me. I hope he wins a lot.
What's the line from Tommy Boy?
Tommy like wingy?
No, well, no. The guarantee makes you feel warm.
You gotta have the guarantee on the box.
Got to be on the box.
On the box. Yeah.
Keeps you warm and cozy at night. Meanwhile, someone's sneaking in your room and hanging your daughter.
Yeah. Something like that. I think that's right. I always remember the on the box part.
On the box. It's not on the box.
What is also, side note, what's up with all the kids now wearing the Bass Pro Shops hats?
Bass Pro Shops are very hip. Country chic. I have no idea.
You've noticed this, right?
Yes.
You go like at the TBT this weekend, a whole bunch of kids are there, like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, high school kids, basically. They're all wearing Bass Pro Shops hats. They love Bass Pro Shops. No chance. No chance they love Bass Pro Shops.
They can't afford anything.
Now, when I was a kid, we would go to places like Bass Pro Shops or the mall or Shields or whatever and just like run around for a while. And that's what we would do for fun.
Look around. Yeah, sure.
But now the kids are actually buying Bass Pro Shops merch and wearing them as style, fashion.
I don't
get it.
I don't like it.
That's what's happening, though. Just telling you what's going on TikTok.
These kids.
The tweet bag is coming up next. Send us a tweet. Send us a text. 402-951-1620 at Connor Happer at Happer Show. You can email too. Connor at 1620thezone.com. Josh at 1620thezone.com in the Equitable Bank inbox. Tweet bag is next. But first, this zone deal is for Horse Creek Adventures, a perfect getaway set in the beautiful Less Hills in Sydney, Iowa. You can wander 170 acres, enjoying the wildlife and beautiful vistas. It's for the rental of the zone deal, is for the rental of the Trailhead Station House, and it holds up to 15 people. So you're going to want to get on this fast. And as always, it's on sale this Friday, 9 a.m., July 22nd, 1620thezone.com.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Are you a builder or contractor looking for unique designs for your client's new build? Your homeowner's mind will be put to ease with Unique Spaces Cabinetry by Terry. Terry's approach to space is what sets us apart from the other cabinet providers. You'll be blown away knowing that the one-on-one design experience is done right by Unique Spaces. Take your new build to the next level of beauty and functionality, making all of your homeowners' dreams come true. Go to uniquespacesbyterry.com. That's uniquespacesbyterri.com.
Do you have big plans for your business? Get access and get growing. If you need a commercial loan or line of credit, the experts at Access Bank can help you get financing that fits your dreams. We're dedicated to supporting owners and entrepreneurs like you on a timeline that fits your schedule, because we're here for a reason, to help Omaha grow. Get started today at accessbank.com. That's accessbank.com. Member FDIC.
NRG Media Omaha has an opening for a rockstar promotions director, someone who's big in the details but can see the big picture, someone who can lead their team but isn't afraid of rolling up their sleeves to get the job done. If you love planning events, if you're creative, good with social media, websites, and graphics, if you can work in a fast-paced environment and manage multiple projects at the same time while still having fun, then hit us back at nrgmedia.com/careers. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Did you get a call or message that mentioned Social Security that made you feel threatened or scared? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, press you for personal information, or demand instant payment. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Don't fall for it. Hang up, ignore them. Report this criminal activity to oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
We put our lives on the line for our country. We braved the unknown. We did what we were told, and we lit up. Our cigarette packs were as valuable as the packs on our back, maybe more. At one point, cigarettes were part of our daily ration. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. And boy, we were smoking 'em. Bumming a smoke was the norm. It was an escape from the reality of dirt, sweat, and forgetting how many days you were so far from home. Never had to worry so long as you had a light, and the smoking lamp was lit. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. And thank you for your service. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
If you suffer from joint pain, from arthritis and injury, you know the traditional treatments, pain meds, and steroids, then surgery, right? Yeah. Hey, it's Damon Benning with great news. Now there's a better way, and it's here now. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. This is an advanced, exciting, and natural alternative that can give you long-lasting relief using your body's own healing power. Listen, steroid shots are toxic to your body's joints. Pain meds are addictive, and nobody wants to go under the knife. It's 2022, and those old ways are out, and the new ways are in. Regenerative medicine can restore and repair damaged joint tissue using natural biologics. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. QC Kinetics regenerative protocols can address any pain and any joint and give you the quality of life you deserve. Call now and schedule your free consultation. 402-205-4960. That's 402-205-4960.
This is the Tweetbag. You send your questions in and we answer them like no other radio segment ever. It's the Tweetbag on the Connor Happer Show.
All right, it's time to open it up. The tweet bag is here. Still time to get in your tweets, which tweets can now come in the form of emails and texts as well. Please don't forget, even if it's an email, it's still a tweet. It's a part of the tweet bag. While we were in the break and still going on right now, just wanted to make mention of a great piece of television. It is Mad Dog Wednesday on First Take. Stephen A. Smith has now been gone for months.
He had surgery.
Shoulder surgery?
Yeah, he revealed last week the reason for my long absence is shoulder surgery. Okay.
But here's the beautiful moment they just set up. Mad Dog, great all-time yeller. He has a lot of takes. So what they did was they made him do his top 5 most storied college football programs of all time, and did about probably a 3, 4, 5 minute presentation and unveiled his top 5 list. And while this was going on, they split screened in David Pollack and Ryan Clark, who just had to sit there and watch the whole time and only make their reactions known with their faces. They couldn't talk. They couldn't say anything. And Mad Dog is just yelling at them the entire time, and both of them are just sitting there shaking their heads. Great piece of television. And now, they're doing the reverse, and they're just laughing at him. Mad Dog is just standing there, and David Pollack and Ryan Clark are just berating him for his takes. His top 5, by the way, his top 5 most storied college football programs of all time. Number 5, Oklahoma. Number 4, USC. Number 3, Alabama. That's where people started laughing. Number 2, Michigan. Number 1, Notre Dame. Honestly, the list is fine. I don't really care, but I'm mostly here for the TV aspect of it, which was really funny.
You knew Mad Dog was going to go Notre Dame number 1. You just knew it.
Yeah, he seems like a Notre Dame number 1 kind of guy.
Yeah,
for sure.
And all that implies.
Amazing. Daniel tweets in at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Emails are tweets and AM radio. I'm so confused.
We are many things to many people.
That's right. So we're going through different levels of it. All the ways you can get in touch with the show and enter into the tweet bag, it's all a tweet. And that is all AM radio. Got it?
It's a big flow chart.
Yep. There is some overlap. There's a Venn diagram in there.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have today, Josh?
We begin with David. In 1999, Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux taught us that the home run is the most exciting play in baseball. Nowadays, I find them to be fairly anticlimactic.
I agree.
What is the most exciting play in baseball? Great question, David.
A play at the plate?
Okay, that's a good one. Stolen base, do anything for you? I guess play at the plate's a little more rare.
Yeah.
There's a point that can be awarded off of a play at the plate.
Baseball points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that would beat play at the plate.
Suicide squeeze.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Super rare though.
Yeah. I mean, action plays.
Yeah.
I've had this for a long time, and I'm glad it comes up. And I'm glad people have started to realize this. Home runs are really cool when they go really far. However, they do a couple things. Number one, it stops the action for a few minutes, a minute or two. Number two, it clears the bases. So I think what we want ultimately, is action. And to get action, you want to have people on bases. Because that's people are running. The pitchers have to deal with different things. When the ball's in play, the fielders have to make decisions. There could be double plays. Double plays are exciting.
Yeah.
Right?
There was a good one last night.
Triple plays are obviously really exciting.
Extend Tony La Russa.
Yep, as always. Had to mention that. Yeah, a suicide squeeze in its rarity is probably very, very high up there.
A guy stole home this year.
A steal of home is good. Can sometimes be anticlimactic because usually when you're successfully stealing home, it's because somebody hasn't realized that you're stealing home.
Yeah.
Like somebody just falls asleep. But yeah, what we want in baseball is not what you think we want. And it's really, the strikeout numbers are gaudy and they're really cool. And we love to watch guys throw 100 miles an hour, and that's fun. And we like to watch guys hit it 700 feet, and that's fun. But that only happens sometimes as well. And the opposite side of all of that is a lot of people strike out. A lot of people strike out and a lot of people walk. And those are not action plays. That just means they get to throw their bat away and take all their pads off and their shin guards, and they get to walk down to first base. That's not exciting. That just means they get to walk back to the dugout. That's not exciting. We want action plays. Doubles into the gap. Amazing Daniel tweets in. He says, robbed home run greater than home run.
I would agree with that.
It's good.
Sure.
And then there are the rare situations like that are dictated by the actual game. So Brasky Pants tweets in. He says, the last pitch for a perfect game. Yes. As it grows and a guy has a no-hitter or a perfect game, 7th, 8th, 9th inning, every pitch is super intense, right? You know what you could get that? First of all, playoff baseball. Second of all, when guys are on base.
Yeah.
Guys don't want people to score. The infield's pulled in some of the time. Like, those are action plays. You know what? I always use this as an example because people love to talk trash on it. You know what's an action play? Bunting.
Bunting is
an action play.
Yep.
You got to make them pick it up. And there's likely people on base.
There's a race.
Bunting is good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm. Thank you. Wow, thank you for tweeting that in. That's an important realization in our society. I don't know that anything's going to change anytime soon because we now have the majority of the major league pitchers that we see throw greater than 100 miles an hour, and they know how to manipulate the ball in ridiculous ways and can make it spin in insane ways, and they know their spin rates and all that stuff. So it's hard to hit right now. We're in a weird spot.
That Ben Joyce from Tennessee, you see you get drafted by the Angels, is that right?
Yeah, I think yep, that sounds right.
So you'll never see or hear from him again.
Scott, good one. Tweets at Happer Show. Yeah, about a home run, but what about inside the park home runs? That's an exciting play. Usually results in a play at the plate.
Sure. That's a race,
Yep. A race. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
There could be races to any base.
Mm-hmm.
There's not races to bases when it's an outside of the park home run. I love watching home runs. I do. They're majestic. The home run derby is fantastic. And Giancarlo Stanton's 500-foot home run last night was sweet. But and the ball being compressed on the bat was really, really cool. But there's nothing like an action play.
And ESPN, let's work on that home run derby presentation a little bit. It was off Monday night.
Yeah.
Give me some more StatCast stats. Let me see the home run.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Count them properly.
You do some work on that.
Matt tweets in off of our conversation in the last segment about eating on a plane. What's the worst thing you've encountered on an airplane flight? For me, it was Chinese food. A couple got in Salt Lake City, flying to Atlanta for our flight. Took them an hour and a half before they ate it all. Oh my goodness.
Jeez. I've had mostly good experiences as far as the people around me on the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely been the stray kid crying the entire flight, for sure.
Yeah.
That's been a thing. I will say that one of the greatest flights that you can take is like a evening flight to Vegas, because everybody on that plane is in, they're in go mode.
Let's go.
Right. So I would say that I've at times been a nuisance on the plane because of my, how I'm acting on said plane to Vegas, but also everybody around me was the same. That's a great atmosphere. Everybody hops on the plane. They're like, when we hit the ground again, and you gain time back too, or you don't gain time back, but not as much time has passed as you think. You go back in time with the time zones a little bit, which is nice. It's a great atmosphere. I don't think that there's been too many. I mean, you sit next to the really fat guy or something like that.
I've had that. I've had space issues.
Like, yeah, I'm pretty like wide in the shoulders, right? So if I'm sitting in between two bigger guys, it's going to be a real issue for me. I've had that a time or two. I've had some flights where maybe I forgot my headphones or like they don't work or something like that. That turns into an issue. It's rare, and I don't fly that much.
I had one flight where they had to circle the airport we were about to land at because of weather.
Oh, now if you want to talk about that, I got a story there.
And they had to circle and circle and circle, and then it was, we got enough gas to keep circling like this, and they had to go. Luckily, just that everything cleared at just the right time before they had to divert.
Yeah, so I have that story that I have the exact same story that went the other way.
Oh no. How far out of the way?
So we were ending up that night. We're supposed to end up that night in New Orleans. And the plane goes through St. Louis. It's a relatively quick turnaround. There's some storms in the area around St. Louis. We have to circle a whole bunch. They're like, after God knows how many circles, they're like, all right, we're going to Kansas City. And I'm like, well, I don't want to go to Kansas City. That doesn't sound very fun right now. We've already been in the air for a couple of hours. I could have driven to Kansas City in this amount of time. We're going to Kansas City. We get close to Kansas City. Kansas City's full because all the diversions from St. Louis. We're going to Des Moines. So we go to Des Moines.
Oh, no.
And we land in Des Moines.
It's the wrong way.
And we sit at Des Moines on the plane. Do not get off the plane for an hour, potentially more. Take off again. End up in St. Louis, where, of course, there's no more flights out of St. Louis to get to New Orleans. We had to stay in St. Louis. Hello, could you help us with the hotel? Yeah, we got one more room left, and your flight leaves at 5. See ya. So, yeah.
I had one. We're going Atlanta to Omaha. We had to wait on the tarmac. Not terribly long. Like, you're waiting for your turn, however long that is. And you can tell the crew is like they're talking to each other about something, and
some commotion.
So everybody's like looking at them like, okay, what are they talking about? What are they talking about? Sure enough, we get up in the air and they go, well, that's 12 hours. We're due for, we are legally required to stop and take a break. So we are going to Charleston, South Carolina instead of Omaha.
They were running out the clock on you guys?
Apparently, I think the flight was delayed like just long enough to where it was, well, we can't finish this flight. So
dang.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh, yeah. A friend of mine reminds me that they lost my bags on that adventure, too. I think they went to New Orleans and then they lost them, and I got them the next day or later that night or something.
Matt tweets in, would you rather be able to move as fast as you want, but your perception of time stays the same? Or would you rather be able to slow down your perception of time, but how fast your body moves stays the same? A complicated question.
Yeah.
Which version of bullet time from the Matrix do you want?
Okay, they're both great options. Right? Like I want to do both of these things.
I would think so. Both have their advantages for sure.
I would rather just be able to move faster in the time that we are in currently. And keep time the same. Like, what are we talking about? Teleportation? Like I could snap my fingers and I'm like,
yeah,
in
more
Lincoln?
or less. You're the Flash, but time stays the same.
Like in the world where I'm the Flash, how fast are we talking? Like, how fast could I snap my fingers and I am in, I don't know, Australia? Like, is that like a 10-minute flight?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a 10-minute trip?
Yeah, let's say Flash rules apply.
What are Flash rules?
He's the Flash. He's the fastest person.
He can snap and go anywhere, and the time remains the same?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I want that.
That's what you want.
That's
right?
what I want. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to mess with other people's time. Because if it's me, you know, if we're keeping time the same and I could snap my fingers and I'm in a different place, I'm not messing with other people's stuff. I'm not messing with other people's time.
That's very considerate of you.
Yes. Isolated.
Many are saying. Very considerate.
And I don't want anybody else to reap the benefits of my situation. I just want it to be me. Maybe a couple friends, loved ones.
Do we have any texted
yeah.
questions in?
Yeah. Yep, I think we do.
Okay. I've been blocked from the text.
Oh, yeah. We gotta get
I should probably ask somebody about it.
Gotta get back on that.
Yeah.
Ever since, why did Shane log out of everything?
I don't know.
Shane is very protective of the
He is.
of things. We actually had a couple comments on the Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's hats.
Ooh, okay. An explanation?
So Aaron says that when he was in college from 2004 to 2008, it was a thing to wear Bass Pro Shops hats, which I had no idea about. Jim in O'Neill says all of his kids have Bass Pro and Cabela's hats. I guess it's, quote, a thing. We still don't know why or where this began, but yes, this is a thing. For
okay.
Sure.
We're getting closer to an answer.
Yeah, I'm glad more people have experienced the fact that they've seen these on like 15-year-olds. Happer's meme guy texts in. Did you ever figure out the difference between stairs and steps? I believe that was discussed on yesterday's crossover or yesterday's afternoon crossover.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on my timeline. I don't remember who was talking about it.
So I think it was yesterday afternoon's crossover, and I think we decided that steps seem like that stairs feel like more of a physical thing, right? I have to physically walk up these steps to get where I'm going, or stairs. Sorry, to get where I'm going. Steps can be a little bit more abstract than that and are bigger, I think, is what we decided. More of like a platform, even though they're both interchangeable in you know, like in your house.
I turned to the internet, I turned to Google. Stairs are a set of steps built between two floors inside a building. Steps,
that's another thing we decided,
are outside of
a
building.
Stairs are inside, steps are outside. Yep. That was yeah, so I think we figured it out.
Okay.
We get one from Freedio, a tweet. The plane I was in hit an antelope while landing in Scotts Bluff.
Okay. That feels momentous.
Everybody okay? Was it on takeoff or was it on landing?
I'll bet the antelope was not okay.
No, I don't think so. I hope it was on landing. It was on takeoff, and things could go haywire.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were once flying on a vacation, and a bird went in the engine upon takeoff, and they got it. They got it figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Plane didn't spiral out of control or anything. That's another thing. You think about that. You watch that movie, Sully?
I have. We've discussed it.
Yeah, and that is a real life event that actually happened. How does that not happen more? How do birds not fly into the engines of planes more?
Right. Do they see a large silver bird in the sky and go, got to stay away from that thing?
Maybe.
Birds know, right?
I guess it's a big thing in the bird community.
Some might tell you birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real. Some people's shirts say that too.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anything left?
I believe that is the bag for today. Take another scroll through here. Oh, no, we did have one more. What's an example of a sport you'd rather watch women play? Example, soccer.
Volleyball.
Yeah, volleyball's a great one. Yeah.
And we're getting closer with tennis.
Yeah.
Because tennis, there's a lot of tennis. Some of the best tennis guys, like they serve it too hard, so it's unreturnable.
Mm-hmm.
Volleyball, men are too strong and can jump too high to where you get one shot at it and it's a spike and there's basically no return from it.
That's a really good point by you.
Women are like the perfect level of athleticism, but not too not too freaky athletic to where
it's not all or nothing.
And there's still standouts. Like there are some that could jump higher than others and hit it harder than others. And those are the best volleyball players, but they still fit in the sport.
Few more Americans doing well in women's tennis. I like to latch on to that. The American men in tennis not doing so great.
I wonder if we do reach the point in however many years where softball becomes more of a watchable product than baseball.
More than baseball. Wow.
Smaller, played in a smaller area. It's faster.
It's very good. It's a great product.
Like we were just mentioning with baseball, like we've gotten to the point where the guys they throw 100 miles an hour and you can't hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are we going to get to a point where guys are just consistently throwing 108? Like, I don't know. I wonder if that happens soon too. Volleyball would be my answer though.
Yeah.
Travis texts in, he says Bass Pro hats must be a small town thing. Haven't seen that in an actual city like Dallas. Now hold on, Travis. I have several questions. First of all, what is Omaha an actual city?
Poll question?
I don't know. Seems a little dangerous.
Yeah.
Is Omaha an actual city? Also, are we sure about that? Because I feel like what we're talking about is a city thing rather than a country thing, a small town thing. Like I feel like this is big in the trends department, which usually take a while to reach the small towns. I think it has encapsulated all of the parts, all of the cities, all of the sizes of cities, and it is already trickled down to the small towns. That's why you see it in small towns. I would venture to guess that you would see the Bass Pro Shops hats in Dallas.
It's city kids trying to be country kids, right?
Correct.
Correct. That's what this is.
Yes.
It's like when everybody wore Carhartt gear.
Absolutely.
A few years ago.
Still happening, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for participating in the tweet bag. We'll do it again next week. We'll come back. We're up next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Email Sharp and Benning on Equitable Bank inbox with your love, your hate, whatever your hot takes are. We're here for you. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Woodhouse Mazda and Woodhouse Place Mazda are the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers, conveniently located in Bellevue or in Millard off 144th and Giles Road. You can shop, finance, and buy your next Mazda SUV or sedan your way. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you to your next vehicle, and our full service department is there for you when your vehicle needs maintenance. Visit us at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com to learn more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal. This week's half-off deal is a one-night stay for the Trailhead Lodge at the beautiful Horse Creek Adventures in Sydney, Iowa for half price. If you've never experienced the Luss Hills, now's the time. Explore 170 acres with miles of hiking and riding trails. Check out Trailhead Station at horsecreekadventures.com. Trailhead Station, it's not just a house, it's a destination.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes. And in 3 short weeks, you turn around and realize, hey, I can actually speak another language. Es como magia.
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was speaking another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
To try Babbel free, text radio to 64,000. Text RADIO to 64,000 to try Babbel free. Text radio to 64,000.
JTech Solar wants to give you a solar summer. You could win a solar system for your home worth up to $10,000. It's JTech Solar's Solar Summer Sweepstakes on 1620 The Zone. Get all the details and enter to win right now at 1620thezone.com.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Most storied college football programs in the country. And don't think I know anything about college football. I know a lot about college football. I can see people out there, he's a basketball guy, he's a baseball. I know a lot of college football. I'll tell you that in a second with him. Number 5.
All right.
Oklahoma.
We can stop there. So then he immediately goes, this is Mad Dog on First Take. Then he immediately goes into black and white footage of, like, he's just totally steering into, it's great television. It is. Because he's just steering into, I'm old and I have the floor and you're going to have to listen to me. And David Pollack and Ryan Clark are just sitting there like, hello, these are black and white images that we're looking at right now. And he goes through the list. Oklahoma, USC, Alabama. David Pollack takes special issue with that. I watched the whole thing during the break. It's pretty funny.
Nobody on that show gets enough credit for self-awareness because you're watching it thinking, oh my gosh, this guy's oblivious. No, they know exactly what they're doing.
They know 100% what they're doing. And then unveils number 2, which is Michigan, and which is the most, that's as good as it gets for the old guy. Because like we always do this with Michigan. I always like to bring it up. Michigan, one of the most historic college football programs of all time, and yes, it's iconic. But they claim 11 national titles.
Pretty impressive number.
Only one of the claimed national titles happened after 1950. And that was in 1997. And we may be a little biased around here, but you might say in response to that, yeah, I'm not quite sure that they were the best team in college football that year. So, Yeah. That's what Mad Dog went with today. It's pretty funny.
Genius television.
Follow-ups here on the Bass Pro Shop situation. Matt tweets in, he says, I've seen the Bass Pro Shop in Cabela's hat in L.A., on the beach in Florida, and in Atlanta. I live in Salt Lake City. They're here too. I wonder if those qualify as real cities. In a real city like Dallas. Travis follows up, by the way, on that text. He says, number one, I like to mess with my Omaha friends about it being a real city since I was at UNL. They were too snotty about Omaha over the rest of the state. Number two, Josh is 100% right. The city kids wanting to be country, but an interesting music combination of Florida Georgia Line and Drake. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with I can't answer for the kids nowadays. I was sent a Wall Street Journal article that I couldn't read because I don't register. You
got to pay for everything.
I'm not a subscriber. I apologize to the WSJ. But how a $6 Bass Pro Shops hat became a fashion trend.
Oh,
and maybe the summation of it is just that it's cheap.
That's a $6 hat, huh?
$6.
Hats are expensive, so maybe that is part of it.
Should we go grab a couple?
Ooh,
should we like the kids?
Little giveaway?
How do you do, fellow kids? No, not giveaway. We're for us. Text her into the show at 402-951-1620, and you could claim 9 if we treated it like Bama. Yeah. This is just always my defense of Michigan. Michigan, my offense against Michigan, I suppose. Like, yeah, okay, Michigan, one of the winningest in terms of all-time wins of all time, and they have Heisman Trophy winners, but they lack in the area that we usually look at programs and call them blue bloods in, and that would be national championships.
You got to do what Texas A&M did and just lie. Just keep putting years up there. Nobody's going to fact check you. Nobody's going to call you on it. Just start putting years up on the side of your stadium.
I did my list a couple of years ago of the blue bloods.
Ooh, some tears.
Let's see if I can find it right now.
Blue bloods.
So I
yes
think
or no?
I think I may have talked about this on the show before. But basically, there was a list of programs, and it was like 12 or 14, somewhere around there, who had won national championships under multiple coaches. Michigan is not included on this list. I haven't updated it since 2019, but nothing has changed since then. I guess Georgia's won one. I don't know if that would make them an inclusion on the list. But here was the list. Because a lot of these programs are defined by long stretches of coaches, multiple decades of coaches. Have you won national championships under multiple coaches? Is that a fair starting point at least?
I would say so. Yeah, sure.
Here's the list. LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, USC, and Notre Dame. They have each won national championships under 3 coaches. That makes them a, stone cold blue blood. Miami has won national championships under 4 coaches. And the rest of these have won national championships under 2. Clemson, Florida State, Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, and Nebraska.
Georgia has titles in 42, 80, and last year.
So maybe Georgia now gets added to that list.
Sure.
So Georgia joins the club. That sound about right? That's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus Georgia 13. Does not include Michigan, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, that sounds like a good base criteria. Yeah.
And I included the split. I included splits too. So Michigan's title in 97 counts, but I only started counting in 1960.
Okay. That's probably good too.
So Minnesota has a national title.
Sort of eliminates the highlights you need an actual film strip for.
Michigan, still not included. They lack the primary criteria that you need to call yourself one of the greatest programs of all time. National championships. They don't have them. Where's the Isaiah Thomas meme? I met the criteria. No, you didn't. You didn't meet the criteria. You need more national championships. I'm sorry, Michigan. You look like one. Your helmet says you're one. Your history says you're one. Your wins say you're one. Your Heisman say you're one. But you're natties. Show me the money, baby. Where you at, Michigan? Don't have it. So
winningest program of all time.
I'm sorry.
By 34 games.
Winningest program of all time that doesn't have any national championships except for one split one in the last 60 years.
Ohio State and Alabama tied at number 2, by the way. That'll be a fun race.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, thank you to Mad Dog Russo who got us sidetracked in all the right ways today. We'll come back with Josh's top 5. Remember, we will talk Rutgers with Chris Nalwasky of the Night Report, the Rutgers Rivals site, at 1:00. Not a blue blood. Rutgers, not a blue blood.
They invented college football, though, Connor.
Sorry. Not included on this list. They had that one time where the kicker pointed at the camera after they beat Louisville. Not a blue blood. Not close.
Did not meet the criteria.
Okay. Josh's top 5 is next. Josh, what do we have today?
50 days away from the start of the NFL season. Top 5 NFL storylines.
Okay. All right. We'll go there. We'll do that next year on 1620 The Zone. But first, I wanted to remind you that J-Tech Construction wants to give you a solar summer. You could win a solar system for your home that's worth up to $10,000. So not only you're going to save there by having that installed, you're also going to save on your energy bills as well. It's J-Tech Construction Solar Summer Sweepstakes. Get all the details and enter to win right now at 1620thezone.com.
Previously on the crossover.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Oh, and that's it.
Did he even get 10? His personal goal was 10.
Oh, well, how many did he eat?
I'm gonna bet he ate.
How many grams are remaining, John?
I'm gonna bet he ate 8.
Sharp and Benning in the morning. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny skies as temperatures approach the lower 90s is what they expect throughout the afternoon. By this evening, we're tracking less humidity as temperatures maintain in the mid-80s. By tonight, I'm tracking a morning low of 68 degrees. For your Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high temperature of 95 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Food, festivals, and a whole lot of fun. You're sure to find some this summer in Sarpy County, Nebraska. From festivals and fireworks to homemade ales and beers to a winery and distilleries, Sarpy County is your go-to destination for summertime celebration. There's also shopping, sports action, concerts, and a whole lot more. But summer isn't going to last forever, so get out your calendar, click GoSarpy.com, and start making plans. Sarpy County Tourism. So near, so fun!
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision, the only place in our area to specialize in all 7 FDA-approved vision correction procedures. Find out which of those 7 you qualify for by visiting their website today, KuglerVision.com.
Shingles add beauty, protection, and value to your home. You want CertainTeed shingles. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is a certified CertainTeed shingle master. When it comes to your roof, CertainTeed Shingles and Carps have you covered. Online at carpsomaha.com.
Imagine it's a scorcher and your home's AC just quit. Sometimes it's beyond repair and needs to be replaced. At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. Modern AC systems are more energy energy efficient, which is good news for your energy bill. Call 402-788-1234 or visit McCarthy's1hour.com.
Always on time, or you don't pay it time. Always on time, or you don't pay it time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Sorry, I got headphone problems. I always get mixed up. I went to the Buds.
He's a Bud guy now.
Yeah,
big Bud guy.
And they sometimes get messed around.
A little tangled.
Yeah, a little tangled.
That's all right.
All right, Josh's top 5 NFL storylines leading into the season, which we are 50 days away from Rams-Bills. Exciting.
It is exciting. It's all downhill from here, everybody. I know we keep saying it.
38 days? 38 only
Yes.
from Nebraska, Northwestern. Also Illinois, Wyoming, if you're into that kind of thing.
Some of us are.
Some of us are. Some of us aren't, but some of us are.
Oh, no. We're all gambling.
That's true.
Right?
We are into that part of it.
Promo code Happer.
Yeah, people forget that. Okay, what do we have?
We have number 5.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Old Timers. Can Aaron Rodgers repeat as MVP? What will Tom Brady and the Bucs do in a sorry division? The old guard has another good shot at postseason glory. Will one of them win a title?
Wow, well written. Well said.
Thank you.
Did Frank Gore retire?
Yes.
Damn.
He's a boxer now.
That's right. That's right. Tom Brady back. Who are the other oldest players in the NFL now?
Ooh.
So Andrew Whitworth retired too, right? Yeah, I think he walked out on top.
Yeah.
Wow. So the top. So Brady's. I'm looking at a list going into last year. Brady, Andrew Whitworth. Did Jason Peters retire? I'm pretty sure he did too.
I do not recall. Ben retired. Dustin Colquitt would be 5th oldest.
Yeah.
The punter.
Sam Cook retired.
Yep. Andy Lee, punter for the Cardinals. Ryan Fitzpatrick retired.
We lost a bunch of the old guys, all the top old guys last year.
Rodgers, who was 10th last year, might be.
He might be one of the oldest.
He
now.
might be second non-punter, non-kicker.
Behind Brady.
Yeah.
We just can't kill.
I really did not. Obviously, I knew Tom Brady was the oldest. I didn't realize Aaron Rodgers was. I knew he was an older guy, but didn't know he was top 10. Now certainly top 5. The plot thickens.
Number 4.
Tua. You're going to know by week 6 if the Miami Dolphins will retain Tua Tagovailoa for next season.
Pua.
The offense now has weapons. They have a coach that is known for maximizing poor offensive lines and run games. every game is going to be Monday morning on NFL Live. Oh, they're going to keep Tua. He threw for 320 and 3 touchdowns. Or
gotta get him.
They're going to get rid of him. You got to trade for him. Trade him for Jimmy G right now. Trade him. He's dinking and dunking. Doesn't have the arm strength.
I just hope that whatever happens with the Dolphins is good, because I still have my random $100 Super Bowl bet on them that I placed in Vegas
Still
when
counts.
I thought for that 10 seconds that Tom Brady was going there. And then that would earn me a free trip back to Vegas, which would be nice. So I hope Tua does well, or he does so bad that they do have to trade for somebody who's good. There was a lot of Deshaun Watson buzz with them. Didn't happen. There was some Brady buzz with them.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Yeah, they're the obvious team, and they have been for a year now, quarterback away.
And what happens if it doesn't go well? Tyreek Hill seems like a talker.
Yeah.
He's got a podcast.
Well, Tyreek Hill's been doing a lot of Tua grandstanding this summer.
Yes.
Tua's better than Mahomes. Tua does this better than Mahomes. Tua's great. One of the most accurate quarterbacks that I've played with, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, we get it.
I don't think any of this can be true, or we would have known it by now.
We'll see.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
The AFC North. Will the Bengals do it again? How will the new era in Pittsburgh go? Will the Ravens and Lamar Jackson get it back? And the Browns. And all that implies.
Yeah, I thought Deshaun Watson was going to be number 1 here until we get a decision, which it feels like that's coming soon.
I thought that 2 weeks ago, too.
Yep. Doesn't feel like we're getting a full season suspension. We will be seeing Deshaun Watson playing at some point this year.
It does feel like.
And it feels like as we get closer and closer, it's going to be shorter.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this right now.
Ooh.
Over under games Deshaun Watson will be suspended this year, because they could go back and say, well, he did time served last year and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So let's say active games that he'll be suspended this year. Over under 4.
Ooh, wow. I'm going to say over, because I just think you're going to have a full scale mutiny if it's not.
Is that number too low?
8? 6 might be the compromise there.
Okay, I could bump the number up a little bit and then take the under, because I think it's going to be low. I think it's going to be low and people are going to be triggered.
The report I saw yesterday was that he is trying to tell the NFL, I have served a year.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which I don't like the guy, but yeah, that's the story he has to tell.
Yeah, I think there's a realistic scenario where it's not any games this year.
You can't trot him out there week 1.
Okay.
You can't.
If I set the number at 6, I would take the under.
Okay.
If I set the number at 8, I would take the under. If I set the number at 4, I think that's ultimately where we're headed here.
A month ago, I would have said a year, lock it in.
Yeah,
definitely. Now I feel like they're trying to kind of slowly leak out that it's not going to be a year.
Yeah.
So that when the announcement comes, you're a little more prepared.
I think we're headed down the barrel of 4. That's where I think.
Wow. That would be bad for the league.
Here comes number 2.
Josh Allen. Will the Buffalo quarterback take the leap? His season ended on the bench in overtime in an epic duel against Patrick Mahomes. He's been selected to kick off the Week 1 slate against the world champs. Is this the year for Josh Allen?
Interesting, because they get the thing where they get the tough schedule coming back now, and they have a whole bunch of expectations. And what Josh Allen did last year was awesome. But people are like, hey, is there another level here? We'll see. I'm not convinced. Like Josh Allen is a certified top 5 quarterback in the league now. Like I'm convinced on that. But are they we do that thing because they lost that game to the Chiefs, and we're like, well, that should have been the Super Bowl. And
you do that thing where, he's not there yet. But had the coin flip gone the other way, you're literally talking about, well, Josh Allen took the leap last year.
Yeah, so it could go both ways too.
Yeah.
I think they're obviously, one of the better teams in the NFL. It's just so hard to say Super Bowl, right?
Right.
It's hard to say Super Bowl or bust unless you've won one before. They haven't been there.
Mm-hmm. Still a journey for young Josh Allen. In the biggest storyline, in the biggest sport, in the biggest country. Well, not the biggest, but the best.
Make it so, number one.
Number one.
The AFC West.
Sure.
Were the Broncos really a quarterback away?
Broncos country, let's ride.
Is Russell Wilson still good? Are the Raiders for real? How will the Chiefs fare without Tyreek Hill? Will the Chargers defense stop these prolific offenses?
Good little rundown.
Yeah.
Good little rundown.
Someone has to finish last in that division.
Hey, when do we think somebody has to let me know. When do we think the first fantasy draft will take place? Has that already happened? Are we?
Oh, there has to have been one that's taken place, right?
We usually like to wait until the last moment so we can get all the injuries and all that stuff. So Labor Day weekend or the week before that. We usually like to wait as long as we possibly can. But I know fantasy drafts that happen in the first couple weeks of August. We're like a couple weeks away from fantasy drafts. Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time. You know what else is happening? Rutgers football.
The birthplace.
Yep. Not a blue blood. The birthplace of college football. Chris Nalwasky. Nalwasky is going to join us. We're going to talk some Rutgers football. They are on the schedule.
Trap game?
We'll see what's going on. What's going on in Rutgers? What's going on in Piscataway? We'll find out next on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Chilling and grilling. You got to get that brat hamburger hot dog game right. Well, Rotella's has got breads galore. With over 100 years of tradition and history, Rotella's does it better than anybody. You need different sizes and buns or types, or maybe even want to go gluten-free. Rotella's has got you covered. They consider it a privilege to come through for you to make sure all your needs are met. The quality, that's a non-negotiable. It's going to be there. Great taste, great texture. Over 100 years of family tradition. It's Rotella's Italian Breads.
Do you have big plans for your business? Get access and get growing. If you need a commercial loan or line of credit, the experts at Access Bank can help you get financing that fits your dreams. We're dedicated to supporting owners and entrepreneurs like you on a timeline that fits your schedule, because we're here for a reason, to help Omaha grow. Get started today at accessbank.com. That's accessbank.com. Member FDIC.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hey there, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, and time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, we have some angler reminders to pass along that any of you going fishing 16 or older must have a current Nebraska fishing permit signed and on your person, and you need to learn the limits for the fish you're after as well, where you're fishing, and what you're after. Daily bag, possession, and length. It's all part of knowing before going. I'm Greg Wagner.
We put our lives on the line for our country. We braved the unknown. We did what we were told. And we lit up. Our cigarette packs were as valuable as the packs on our back. Maybe more. At one point, cigarettes were part of our daily ration. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. And boy, we were smoking 'em. Bumming a smoke was the norm. It was an escape from the reality of dirt, sweat, and forgetting how many days you were so far from home. Never had to worry so long as you had a light and the smoking lamp was lit. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. And thank you for your service. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
Since this is a radio commercial, you can't see the people standing behind me. They're the Langfeld family. Everybody wave. Oh, sorry, you can't see them because radio. Anyway, the Langfelds are the family behind Langfeld Overhead Door, where they proudly install Midland garage doors to fit any space and style, and they don't take a backseat to anyone when it comes to their service. Because if something goes wrong, it's their name on the line. So they're going to make sure it goes right every single time. Langfeld Overhead Door, 402-234-2700.
All right, welcome back. 1 o'clock hour, Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We continue our tour around Nebraska's schedule, double dipping today. Talked Michigan earlier. Let's talk Rutgers with Chris Nalwasky of the Night Report, which is Rutgers' rival site. Chris, hello. How are you?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate having me on. I hope it's not as hot in Nebraska than it is in Jersey right now, but yeah.
No, it is. Yeah, it's hot. All of our lawns are burnt out, and it doesn't have really any sign of stopping anytime soon. But we'll get to the fall eventually. We're creeping our way there. So Rutgers pulls off the unthinkable 5-8 season a year ago because they were the replacement team in the Gator Bowl and they lost to Wake Forest. Let's start here. Chris, how does last season sort of sit as far as like a stepping stone in where Rutgers wants to go?
I think last year was honestly a good season. Especially early in Greg Schiano's tenure back at Rutgers. It's not completely about wins and losses. Obviously they want to win all the games. They want to make a bowl game, but it was really about establishing the culture in the first couple of years and getting kids recruits in. But honestly, it was a little disappointing in a way because they had a chance on getting the bowl game outright. They had to win the last game against Maryland. They weren't able to do that, but obviously they were still able to get to a bowl game. Honestly, they went to a bowl game, a better bowl game than they probably would have at 6-6. So they kind of lucked out there and played a really good opponent in Wake Forest. They played pretty well also against Wake Forest, even though despite having a lot of people out. But just overall in the season, they played well in non-conference play. They hung tough with a couple of Big Ten teams, and just overall it was a pretty good season. And I'd say it was a pretty good stepping stone in terms of building the culture and getting kids on campus that want to be at Rutgers. And I think the next couple of years you'll see a nice little turnaround for Rutgers football.
Yeah, big picture. I mean, people seem to think around the league, and I know I hear it here too, that hey, give Greg Schiano a couple years and that thing could really be going. What does it look like when it's going? And does that happen as soon as 2022?
Sure. I think this year the schedule just overall is just really tough to expect. Maybe a bowl game this season. They play a lot of really good teams in the west side of the division too, in the west side of the conference. But I think the play overall in general will be improved. Just might not see in terms of wins losses because of the schedule. They have a lot of younger talent that's developing right now, and they're in the weight room. They're going to be better as the years go on. So you might not see a true impact on the field until maybe next year. They also have, a freshman quarterback that I'm sure he'll take his lumps this season, and as his tenure and as the other young guys develop, I think you'll see the Rutgers, for sure, have better seasons in the next years to come.
Yeah, so when it does get to that point, and like you said, maybe it's not 2022. When it does get to that point, like what is that? Is it an 8-win team? Is it bowl game? Is it winning? Is it as big as winning the East? I guess, what does that look like in 23 or 24 when it really, comes full bloom?
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it could kind of resemble something like 2006 when they almost went to the BCS Bowl at that point.
Yeah.
But obviously the Big Ten is just a bear, so I'm not sure if winning the conference is really achievable goal, especially with Ohio State and Michigan, stuff like that, especially in the division right now.
Sure.
But obviously getting a bowl game, getting a higher tier bowl game, maybe finishing third, fourth in the conference instead of sixth, seventh, will be very, very good sign for Rutgers.
What's the feeling on Noah Vedral going into yet another year of him at the helm? Obviously, we know him closely from his time here at Nebraska as a kid who grew up in the state. He's been a couple places now. What's the thought on him this year? Last year it was sort of up and down, and there were some injuries that were thrown in there as well. What do the fans think of Noah Vedral going into 2022?
So obviously Noah Vedral is what he is. He's a kind of a smaller guy, but he's absolutely tough as nails. He'll take a hit and bounce right back. But he has obvious throwing limitations. A lot of the fans kind of want to move on from Noah this season. They kind of want to see either Gavin Wimsatt or Evan Simon, play quarterback this season. But I think Noah that really has a good chance starting, at least the opener. But yeah, I think the fans are kind of hit or miss on Noah right now. They obviously admire his toughness and everything like that, but they also feel that there's quote unquote better quarterbacks on the roster. And I mean we'll see how the competition comes out in terms of training. Throughout training camp next month.
So Wimsatt, you mentioned it, and I've heard the name a whole bunch. So he came in as a highly recruited guy in the class of 21. Would you say that he's pretty close now, or I guess where are things at with him? And he's, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think he's one of the higher recruited players, higher ranked players that Rutgers has ever gotten as a commitment.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely up there. It's not the highest. In terms of quarterbacks at least too. Yeah. I mean, he actually came, to Rutgers last fall. He played, I want to say 3 high school games, and then he went to Rutgers in late September. And then he played 4 games in the fall last year and was able to keep his red shirt. So, he's been on campus for almost a year at this point, and he's still considered a freshman, and he has all the tools to be a really good quarterback. He can throw it, he can run. It just comes down to, kind of eliminating freshman mistakes and learning the playbook and everything. But he really has all the talent in the world to kind of lift Rutgers and lift the offense, where it wants to go and where it needs to be in order to be successful, for
sure. Okay, so I'm looking at Rutgers' schedule right now. You start off with Boston College, Wagner, Temple. Iowa is obviously tough at the end of September. You go to Ohio State. I'm looking at Friday, October 7th, when Nebraska comes to town. I feel like that's a huge game. It's a big game for Nebraska too, and they need to start off really well this year. How important is the Nebraska game in the context of Rutgers' schedule, especially considering they go into a bye the next week, and then after that the wins are sort of going to be difficult to come by?
Yeah, for sure. I kind of see it as kind of like a fork in the road, I guess you can call it. They're probably most likely. They could be 3-5 at that point. I mean, 3-2 at that point.
Yeah.
With losses to Iowa and Ohio State, and then wins in the non-conference. Obviously, the game against Boston College in the season opener is going to be tough. But if they can get a win against Nebraska, who's obviously a really good team, and head into the bye, and then Indiana's right after that, and they could have honestly all the confidence in the world going into Minnesota and then Michigan the following couple weeks. So, I mean, if they can win that game against Nebraska at home Friday night, I think it's tabbed as a blackout game. So all the players and fans are going to be excited for that one. So, it should be a really good atmosphere in Piscataway. And yeah, if Rutgers can beat Nebraska, that'll definitely be a big confidence booster, and it'll honestly bode well for both hopes, down the line.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. I mean, Friday night game, you got the blackout going. It feels like they've sort of poured everything into, or built everything up to, hey, we think this is going to be a big game. And when you do that as a university or as a football program, you want to pick out a game that you think you have a chance to win too. So I feel like that they've sort of circled that one in the schedule.
Oh, for sure. I mean, so last time Rutgers played Nebraska, I feel like Rutgers was pretty competitive.
Oh yeah, it was only a touchdown game, right? I mean that late December game a couple of years ago.
Yeah, obviously Rutgers seems to always play well in games that are during the week at night, kind of blackout games. I think of Louisville games, and that was a while ago at this point now. But
yeah,
there's some other games during the week that they just play really well, and the fans get excited for it. And I could definitely see that. I mean, Tim might think of it as kind of a fork in the road game too. And if they can get a win here, it'll really be a big boost in the Big Ten for them.
Chris Nalwasky of the Night Report, that is the Rutgers rival site. Chris, we'll let you go, man. Appreciate the time. We'll try and catch up again before we get going and before Nebraska and Rutgers play in October.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you again for having me on. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
That is Chris Nalwasky of the Night Report, the Rutgers rival site. Yeah. So looking at their schedule, that's a huge game for them. They've built it up to be a huge game. It's going to be a huge game. It's obviously a huge game for Nebraska. Looking at where it sits for Nebraska, I mean, look, we're in the portion of time right now where everything feels like a big deal. And it is, you don't want to go on the road and lose to Rutgers on a Friday night. So Nebraska starts off with the 4, Northwestern, North Dakota, Georgia Southern, Oklahoma, bye week. Indiana coming out. Short week at Rutgers. Remember, the Indiana week is when the buyout goes down. Short week at Rutgers, at Purdue. Josh, in the 3 weeks between byes, Nebraska plays Indiana, at Rutgers, at Purdue. What needs to be their record in those 3 games? It depends on what you're going for here.
Yeah, it depends on what you're going for and how they did going into those 3 games.
Uh-huh.
It'd be hard to convince me that anything other than 3-0 is what the team needs.
I think you'd be able to swallow 2-1.
Yeah.
Like you said, depending on what happened the first 4.
It's not the end of the world to go 2-1 in those 3 games.
It cannot be 1-2.
Correct.
Certainly cannot be 0-3. 3-0 feels like almost a must in that period of time. You have Illinois coming out of the bye in late October.
Just go ahead
the
and
Purdue game. You
do yourself the favor.
You're going to want to sweep those 4.
Yeah.
And okay, so you know what that means. Regardless of how they get off to, what kind of start they get off to. Maybe it's 3-1, maybe it's 2-2. Maybe it goes horribly in one of those games in the first couple weeks of the season. Maybe Northwestern catches you. If you're in that situation, you're going to have to go 4-0 in that 4-game stretch.
Exactly.
Because that'll get you to 6. With Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Iowa coming down. If you are thinking about 8 or 9 wins, you're going to have to take care of business in the first 4, 3-1 or 4-0, and sweep the 4.
Yeah.
And if you sweep the 4, the Indiana, Rutgers, Purdue, Illinois stretch with a bye in after Purdue, that's a 4-game winning streak. Like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's a 4-game conference winning streak. It sets up right there for Nebraska to be making some money and cashing some checks during that period. but you got to do it first. So that Rutgers game comes at a pretty interesting time, as they all do. We'll come back. More up next on 1620 The Zone.
I'm a fabulous driver.
The Connor Happer Show
I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life.
on 1620 The Zone.
I hate you.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Email Sharpen Betting on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me at Gary at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. If you have played golf this summer and you haven't been that happy with your game, Mike Faber, their director of instruction, he can help you out. Give Miracle Hill Golf a call today at 402-498-0220. Book lessons or book a round of golf, whether it's a quick 9 after work, a full 18 on the weekend, the Top Tracer building. You can get your golf game right. 402-498-0220, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
5X480. Dayton B100 V-Belt, one of the many parts Grainger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the day. The job was on hold, deadline fast approaching. But a quick search on Grainger.com and Rob found his part. And with same-day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done, safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
This message is for the guy who isn't perfect in the bedroom. And let's be honest, who is? Maybe the issue is getting it up or keeping it up, or maybe it's finishing too soon. If any of these performance hiccups sound familiar to you, don't sweat it. Hims can help. At 4hims.com, you can go online and get clinically proven prescription medication that treats these issues prescribed for you, if appropriate, by licensed medical providers. And the medication is shipped free to your door in discreet packaging. Plus, Hims gives you unlimited follow-up visits with medical providers. No one's perfect in the bedroom every time, but with Hims, you can get a lot closer than before. And chances are, your partner will agree.
To get started today, go to 4hims.com/perfect. That's 4hims.com/perfect for your free visit. FORHIMS.com/PERFECT.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Josh, one remaining thing here from the All-Star game last night. Let's pull up this clip of Aaron Judge, who was going through some pregame warm-ups, and they the ESPN reporters or the reporters who are out there. They're just like, yeah, let's just grab people and we'll grab them for 10 seconds and send them on their way. Hey, how do you feel tonight? That type of thing. Well, this one went in a bit of a different direction, and Aaron Judge, I don't know that you would say he handled it the best.
Ooh, no, I would not.
Question and answer to the Yankees' Aaron Judge, who is maybe pending free agency somewhere else this offseason.
And he has a son named Jacob who came up the other day really upset from his school in Astoria. He just came over. He's like, are you telling me that Aaron Judge may not be a Yankee after this year?
Pause.
What do you have to tell to Jacob right there?
Pause. Excellent job by the reporter. She goes, hey, here's what happened. Some little kid came up to me, Aaron.
Yeah.
And
You can't be mad at me asking this.
You know what that kid said to me, Aaron? He looked me in the eye and said, is Aaron Judge really not going to be a Yankee?
The only thing that would have been worse,
my little heart,
is I spoke to a child in a children's hospital.
Yeah, he's been undergoing treatment.
wanted you to hit 2 home runs today and remain a Yankee.
So, there's the start. It's just followed by a pause, which you're about to hear.
Tell your fans that want you to remain in a Yankee uniform. I wasn't going to put you on the spot. I mean, we're on live TV.
Yeah, Jacob, buddy. We got a lot of great Yankees on this team. There are a lot of great Yankees. Be here for a long time, so don't be upset. Don't be upset. Hopefully you'll be a Judge fan for life.
Oh man, that's
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for your
You got to let that go, Jacob.
Jacob, sorry, your dreams are dead.
You're going to learn a thing about adults and sports.
Capitalism. So what do you do? What do you do if you're Aaron Judge and you're in that exact situation? You're like, oh, time to go for a fun 2-second interview with ESPN, who's going to ask me how I feel about being here and all of the people around me. And the lady pulls out the curveball of, no, I was actually talking to this kid, and this kid was like really distraught about Aaron Judge potentially not being a Yankee anymore, and fed him that. So what's your answer? Like, legitimately, because you're Aaron Judge in your head, you're going to free agency this offseason.
Yeah.
And you genuinely don't know where you're going to end up, but you can't say that. And you know that there's a possibility you may not end up with the Yankees, if not a likelihood you may not end up with the Yankees.
I mean, my takeaway is, how was he so unprepared for this question going into this weekend?
I bet he's gotten the question before, but just not that way.
Yeah, the wording probably threw him off. Like, I thought you were going a different way. Okay, you threw the question at me.
Like, I don't know what to tell you, kid. That's what I would have said.
I mean, you're
like, kid, I don't know what to tell you, Jacob. I'm sorry.
Your line has to be, anything can happen.
Too.
Never say never.
And they were live too. Like, if they weren't live afterwards, he just like, hey, can you just not use that? That was sort of a disaster. They're live. They're on real life TV on ESPN.
Not great at all. New York media probably going to get a hold of that one.
Yeah. Look, I mean, can you explain to my son why you're not going to be wearing pinstripes anymore? And why the Yankees' offer of over $200 million wasn't enough for you? Oh man. And then on the other side, over there on the East Coast, you had Juan Soto, who, the Nationals are just in the battle, I guess, of their lives, PR wise, here with Juan Soto. Who's good, who's bad, who's declining who. Apparently the Nats did not charter a plane for Juan or his family across the country, and he had to find his own travel plans to get out there to LA.
If nothing, I understand the pettiness I get it. If nothing else, protect your trade asset. You can't have, well, he was flying in first class and old Gil from D.C., the luggage fell out of the overhead bin and bonked him right on the head. Or the drink cart hit his knee while he was flying and he's out 2 weeks.
Yeah, I got to say, all this does not reflect well on the Washington Nationals baseball franchise.
No.
Fine, you don't accept our $440 million? We'll trade you. That doesn't reflect as well on you as you think it does. Fine, you don't accept our $440 million or we're going to trade you? You're not a part of our team anymore. We're not going to charter a plane for you. Once again, I don't think you're accomplishing what you think you're accomplishing here.
We just reconfigured the parking spots here at Nationals Park. Yours is
Lot D.
in row G. Yeah.
Once again, I don't think you're doing yourself any favors. But you do you, Washington Nationals.
And you're definitely
you still
telling,
got that World Series.
Yeah, you're definitely telling any future free agents, like, we treat our players very well. Please come and play in our nation's capital.
We will come back. More to discuss. We have a small Husker football topic, actually, that we haven't gotten to yet. And we'll round out the poll questions at the end of the hour, and we'll tell you what to watch tonight, all coming up at the final half hour of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Zone. Taste of our takes. Sharp and Betting in the morning.
Scott Chandler joining us here on Sharp and Betting in the morning. Joe Burrow sat down for a podcast last week. They asked him about how many times he'd been sacked last season and what kind of a toll it said. And essentially what he said is sacks are an overblown stat. As a defensive guy, when you hear a quarterback say that, your response is?
He's a liar. I don't believe him one bit.
For more, tune in every day to 1620 a.m. or go to 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny skies as temperatures approach the lower 90s is what they expect throughout the afternoon. By this evening, we're tracking less humidity as temperatures maintain in the mid-80s. By tonight, I'm tracking a morning low of 68 degrees. For your Thursday, mostly sunny skies, high temperature of 95 degrees. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
If you're looking for something that might help to alleviate some of your discomforts, then come to The Source 42 Degrees. While there, talk with the most knowledgeable and friendliest staff on what Kratom or CBDs can do that might help you with that sore back, knees, and elbow joints, just to name a few. With a full line of CBD and Kratom products, a professional to answer your questions, come to The Source 42 Degrees and see what Kratom and CBDs can do for you. 42 Degrees, by your mom's house.
Enjoy baseball, food, and fun for the whole family as you watch the Storm Chasers this season at Werner Park. Don't miss any of the excitement happening at the ballpark. See what's coming up at OmahaStormChasers.com.
Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm with family.
Have you ever really stayed in the unique historic Luss Hills? Horse Creek Adventures invites you to enjoy an amazing getaway at Trailhead Station near Sidney, Iowa. With 6 bedrooms, Trailhead Station can accommodate up to 15. Relax on the large outdoor patio and porch and soak in the scenery. Explore 170 acres with miles of hiking and riding trails. Check out Trailhead Station at horsecreekadventures.com. It's not just a house, it's a destination.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Woohoo! Snarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
The following is a test of the KOZN emergency system equipment. The data tones you just heard are used in the emergency alert system. This concludes testing of the KOZN emergency alert system equipment. This station serves the Nebraska operational area number 1.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you.
Paid for by NHTSA.
Rob Manfred is unfortunately the commissioner of baseball. As the commissioner of baseball, you are supposed to have your finger on the pulse, right? What do people think in our circles? What do people think of us from the outside? What are our players like? What are our coaches like? What do they dislike about the way we run our business, about the way we do things? And then adapt and change accordingly. Right? Isn't that sort of the commissioner's job, and be the face for all of that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that summed up?
You're fielding the general questions about your sport.
Mm-hmm. We have a tweet last night from Tyler Kepner, who covers baseball for the New York Times. He says this: if you're bummed about the All-Stars not wearing their actual uniforms again, I asked Rob Manfred about it today. He praised Nike and added, quote, I never thought that a baseball team wearing different jerseys in a game was a particularly appealing look for us. End quote.
Oh, so you just don't understand your sport at all. Okay.
Okay. So there is a counter to this. And I saw this bubble up a little bit last night. And to be honest, it's fair. Now, he didn't explain it correctly. But he's wrong about that piece of it, because everybody in his sport, all the baseball people are like, hey, this is what makes the All-Star game actually cool, and this is what makes baseball's All-Star game better than a lot of the other All-Star games. It's the colors and all the people coming into the, all the people coming from around baseball at the same time, and you get to wear your own unique jerseys, but they all look the same because baseball is uniform, but it's also different. Right? I don't know. Just to sum it up. Yeah, it's a great look.
You diehard baseball fans love
it's a great look.
Love the individual jerseys at the All-Star.
I think it's a great look when the NBA used to do it too. But they don't do it anymore either. And now they wear stupid, they look like the gutter cats of the TBT. They look like they're playing slow pitch softball. The American League team looked like they were playing slow pitch softball last night.
I will say I did not really care for the American League jerseys. That was too darker.
They're too gray. They made the Diamondbacks change their jerseys a couple of years ago because they were in that same color of slate gray.
Yeah.
They're like, please don't do this. Change this.
I really liked the NL jerseys. Those were sharp jerseys. I understand people want them to wear the team's actual jersey, but those were pretty sharp jerseys.
It's not the jerseys that I'm mad. It's not the existence of the jerseys that I'm mad at. It's the fact that they were applied incorrectly. Those jerseys have existed every year. They wear them during the home run derby. That's pretty much it. And they wear them as BP jerseys. They wear them as warm-ups. During the game, you bust out the regular grays or whites from your home teams. The counter to this, which I saw bubble up last night, is this. The kids love them. Like the children. The children love the alternate, the different uniforms. And to that, I'd say, okay, I get it. Fair. I get what you're going for. A lot of the stuff that we do that's new and different in sports nowadays is just for the kids. And if, the kids make their parents buy them, and their parents don't like buying them, but the kids make their parents buy them. And I'd say to that, sure, whatever. But please let's not act like everybody in baseball doesn't, or who watches baseball consistently hates the fact that they're wearing those weird slate jerseys and all the same ones for the All-Star game. Lacking the finger on the pulse for Rob there.
And that wasn't even Rob Manfred's biggest PR blunder this weekend.
Oh, did he have another bad one?
Yeah. He was asked, hey, why don't you pay minor leaguers a living wage?
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, I would disagree with the notion that we don't. And everyone tweeted out that Rob Manfred made $11 million last year. While minor leaguers are living 4 to an apartment.
And they don't get paid in the offseason.
Yeah.
And they get paid somewhere in the neighborhood of like $1,000 a month for the minor league minimum or something like that.
Paltry, to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so paltry that the league just had to settle with MILB just to smooth things over.
I really hope they get that deal done where they give them housing and everything like that. Because that's obviously a huge help.
Yeah.
Or adequate housing, I should say. They don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, like, hey, we got we got a complex behind the building, behind the stadium here. You're good to go. Come and go as you please. It's yours.
Former MLBer Brandon McCarthy tweets out last night, looks like Dodger Stadium is about to host a Vanderbilt inter-squad game.
Okay, that's fair.
It's kind of funny.
Definitely Vanderbilt vibes. That's difficult.
Vandy vibes?
Vandy vibes. Yep, that's better.
With their weird V. And then I just see the video of the guy who is bowling over little kids asking for autographs. We could do like a full breakdown on that.
He's a dope.
So the guy in the back, he's we're talking about 3 or 4 people deep here up against a wall. It's like bike rack, it's covered up in something to make it look nice.
Uh-huh.
And he's probably about the third person back. And he's got a baseball. And he's reaching over at least two kids directly in front of him. Then there is a smaller kid who's just getting smashed up against the bike rack who you may not even be able to see in the front. And then there's another one on the other side of him. And he's reaching through the window to get an autograph of somebody. I'm not sure who. The kid's asking for his ball to be signed as well. The kid in front, the most prominent one. The adult in the background bumps the kid on the shoulder to get in the, he puts his arm directly across his face. And the kid's like, hey, could you get this arm out of my face? He moves his arm out of his face, turns around, says something to him. The adult just keeps going at it. He hits the kid back. He bumps the kid back. He's like, hey man, I'm trying to get an autograph here. And the kid is unfazed and he continues on to go about his day.
Why are there so many fights in that stadium?
I don't know.
If I may, for the second straight day, give you my Colin Cowherd impression. West Coast, more laid back, less stress.
Apparently not with this guy wearing the San Diego Padres hat.
Couple brawls broke out during the Derby on Monday night.
Guy's good and fired up. Matt tweets in. He said at Happer Show. He says, "So the kid's wearing the Cabela's hat like the All-Star Game jerseys." Is that what you're telling me? Yes. There's a lot of people now today wearing Bass Pro Shop hats and All-Star Game jerseys from last night. And I'm just sitting there wondering what's happened to our society.
I can picture you just in the corner of a room. Just
why? Why?
We used to be a proper society.
All right, we'll come back, update the poll questions, tell you what to watch tonight next on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
Chilling and grilling. You got to get that brat hamburger hot dog game right. Well, Rotella's has got breads galore. With over 100 years of tradition and history, Rotella's does it better than anybody. You need different sizes and buns or types, or maybe even want to go gluten-free, Rotella's has got you covered. They consider it a privilege to come through for you to make sure all your needs are met. The quality, that's a non-negotiable. It's going to be there. Great taste, great texture. Over 100 years of family tradition. It's Rotella's Italian Breads.
Hey friends, Kent Pavelka here, back with John Higgins and the Rooferees at the Weather Guard showroom. The difference between your company and the ones that haven't been around very long, and what's the real value there?
We started the business in '85. That has to be worth something that you've been in the community for this long. If people are just out there to shop the price and not the service and the quality of what we do and the integrity of who we are, those people may not be for us, and that's okay.
The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
5X480. Dayton B100 V-Belt, one of the many parts Grainger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the day. The job was on hold, deadline fast approaching. But a quick search on Grainger.com and Rob found his part. And with same-day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done, safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you have big plans for your business? Get access and get growing. If you need a commercial loan or line of credit, the experts at Access Bank can help you get financing that fits your dreams. We're dedicated to supporting owners and entrepreneurs like you on a timeline that fits your schedule, because we're here for a reason, to help Omaha grow. Get started today at accessbank.com. That's accessbank.com. Member FDIC.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes. And in 3 short weeks, you turn around and realize, hey, I can actually speak another language. Es como magia.
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was speaking another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
To try Babbel free, text radio to 64,000. Text RADIO to 64,000 to try Babbel free. Text radio to 64,000.
Hey, so here's a quick baseball oddity for you before we get out of here. Major League Baseball can do scoring changes up to a certain amount of days after the game is completed. Go back and review things, whatever. We have a scoring change that came in from, I believe Sunday. It is now Wednesday. So Nick Senzel reaches on a throwing error by third baseman Evan Longoria instead of reaching on an infield single. All 7 runs in the inning are now unearned to Anthony DeSclafani. That's a large change. It's 7 unearned runs instead of earned runs. So Anthony DeSclafani has now lowered his ERA from 9.95 to 6.63 on an off day during the All-Star break while on the injured list.
Oh.
So congratulations to him.
I guess so, yeah.
Poll questions. Wow. I'm just looking at this tweet from the Trev Alberts All Sport thing from earlier.
Yeah.
That's a great picture.
Moment in time.
We have to ask him about this. Truly.
Yeah.
All right. Is Lane Kiffin confused? No.
No. You missed all the gum questions.
Do you chew gum? Yeah, I chew gum.
Yeah.
Not often, but I chew gum. 64% say yes. Do you have the gum talk? Confusion is abound here. I'm going to go with no. 83.3% say no. Do you ever track the gum you swallowed for 7 years? I did that once. Yes.
I'll admit I did it.
90. You did too?
Yeah.
Excellent. 91.5% say no, they did not.
Sure.
1 in a million, Josh. That's what we are. Is Lane Kiffin confused? Yes.
Yeah.
66% say yes. Will Nebraska get 1 vote to win the West in the preseason media poll? Yes. I vote yes. 55% say yes as well.
Okay.
Would you cut off a toe to putt like Cam Smith? That'd be pretty sweet. I'd be a lot better at golf than I currently am.
Not important enough to me to lose a toe.
It just depends on how much golf you play.
Right.
I would love, like, if I could, I would shave like 15 strokes off a round. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm losing a pinky. 60% say no, but 40% say yes. Would you cut off a toe to putt like Sam Smith, the musician? No, that I would not do.
I cannot advise people to do that, no.
89% say no, but 10% say yes for some reason. Subway sandwich on the plane, okay or not okay? Let's go with not okay. 55% say okay. And those are our poll questions today. Josh, what are we watching?
On the worst sporting night of the year.
Yeah, big night. This is a time for you to really spread your wings.
I have all sports programming tonight.
Jeter Doc?
No. The ESPYs are tonight, hosted by Steph Curry. That awards the best in sports. I think we all know that. 7 o'clock on ABC. Just ABC.
Wow.
Years past, it's been on like 3 networks at the same time. This is just ABC.
We've moved to the old terrestrial.
Because TBT is on ESPN tonight at 7. The round of 16 from Rucker Park. A little basketball for you. You got 6:30 MLB Network. The Futures game is on. AL Prospects versus the NL Prospects.
Which happened like 4 days ago.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
They are burning through this program that they have banked. Before the Futures game, there is a half-hour documentary on MLB Network called The Jackie Legacy. New interviews with President Bill Clinton, Spike Lee, and more discuss the life and legacy of Jackie Robinson. 6:30. Why is everything starting at 6:30 tonight? USA, the World Track and Field Championships continue. It's day 6 from Oregon. And events tonight include the 3,000-meter steeplechase and discus throw finals. You'll also see the semis in men's and women's 400 meters.
I'm boycotting the track championships because that one guy, he got disqualified for going too fast.
And finally, a movie recommendation, 6:45, which is a great time to start things on FXM, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
All right.
The Will Ferrell comedy from 2006.
First or last.
Is about the faux NASCAR driver. It co-stars John C. Reilly and Sacha Baron Cohen.
That's right.
If you don't chew big red gum, it's come full circle.
Yeah, wow. That's how this started. Because it was actually in the break before the crossover where I told them that my great-grandma used to send me, for my birthday, a stick of gum in the mail. I think it was Big Red. It may have been Juicy Fruit some years. Whatever it was, it came in the mail, and it came from the central Nebraska.
Did she tuck it in the card?
It took, in the card. Yeah,
a single stick of gum.
It's stick of gum, and it may be a $5 bill or something like that too. And the gum would just break on impact.
Sure.
Because it probably was 600 degrees in the mailbox that she put it in.
Gum does not travel well outside of the package.
And that's how we got started on Big Red Gum. Gary asked if people were still chewing Big Red Gum. I don't think so, actually. Maybe grandmas.
No.
Full circle. Good stuff. All right. That'll do it for us today. That is what to watch. If you missed anything, it should be all up and posted correctly, but keep us updated. Keep us honest at 1620thezone.com.
Please do. I actually do appreciate people telling us when technical things go wrong.
Yeah, because if not, we just wouldn't know because we don't listen to ourselves.
I did it the slow way today on posting the podcast. I hated it, but it should be right for all of you fine listeners.
Okay. So check that out, 1620thezone.com. Thank you for your interaction today. Crossovers next.
Live from